Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Perfect Cleaning Traffic Center.
On the Beltway in Annandale, there's an accident now on the outer loop at the Little River Turnpike, and that is a left lane block. Traffic is jammed from the toll road and also delays on the outer loop from the Springfield interchange to the Wilson Bridge. Inner loop still a slow go from 66 to the 270 spur and from Old Georgetown Road to New Hampshire Avenue. Then more delays on and off on the inner loop headed from 95 to Richard Marlborough Road. There is an accident in Fairfax on westbound 29 between Prosperity Avenue and Cedar Lane. 2 lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed from the Beltway. In the district, there is an accident reported now outbound on New York Avenue at York Capitol Street. Watch for delays there. Now from GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, low temperatures into the 60s, and tomorrow we're back up to 86 with lots of sunshine. Drier air sticks around through Thursday, then moisture and storm chances return for the weekend. I'm 7 News, Meteorologist Short Evans at the First Alert Weather Center.
For now, 85 in Los
Hi, Tanya.
It's a WMAL.
He's here. Now broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of the hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Loden.
Been outdoors most of the day. Been out. It's nice out. I've been outside. Windy, but it's nice. Good day. It's a good day. Dougie called. He made it home safe.
877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Last evening, we spent 2.5 out of 3 hours on what's going on in LA and the rest of the country with the insurrectionists, so we're going to spend a lot of time on it this evening as well. But before I do, so I called the President of the United States early this morning, which I don't often do. He and I are very close friends. I know this upsets the isolationists and the fifth columnists and their media mouthpieces and propagandists. I said, Mr. President, have I lobbied you about Iran? He said, no. I said, Mr. President, when we met last week, did I lobby you about Iran? He said, no. I said, Mr. President, did I ask to meet with you, or did you ask to meet with me last week? He said, I asked to meet with you. He said, why? I said, because we have a group of people who are pushing propaganda, who are pushing a narrative into Politico, into other places, that suggests the opposite. Well, Mark, why don't you ignore them? Ignore them, because you and I both know it's not true. It's very important that you folks understand. I'm going to continue. I'm not going to get into what I discussed with a president who wants to meet with me. There were a number of subjects that came up. As far as Iran goes, the president knows exactly where I stand on Iran. And he told me he knows exactly where I stand on Iran, because he watches my shows on Fox on Saturday and Sunday. The whole world knows where I stand on Iran. The fifth columnists, the isolationists, know where I stand on Iran. I suspect the Islamo-Nazis in Tehran know where I stand on Iran. So why is that a secret? What I am not doing, and what I would not do to Donald Trump, is lead a lobbying campaign of hawks, as it was put in Politico, war hawks. I'm not leading any lobbying campaign. I haven't organized any lobbying campaign, but it doesn't matter. So somebody in some group, a cabal, are putting out these leaks to entities like Politico. Politico is untrustworthy. They took $8 million in subscriptions last year, 2024, from the taxpayers through the government and so forth. But I can tell you they're liars. I can tell you that the main writer of this piece, Rachel Bade, is a liar. That Rachel Bade is a propagandist. That Rachel Bade is a scribe for the isolationists, for the Iranian special pleaders. And let me tell you something, America. These Iranian special pleaders like Chatsworth Osborne Jr. and others, they're making it, in my view, very difficult to get a deal with Iran. Because Iran, apparently, from what the president said yesterday, is more arrogant, more in your face than they've been before. Because they watch our media. They watch the Chatsworths. They watch the others. Some of the people in the White House who are undermining the president of the United States. They see it and they hear it. And so they think that is a majority position of the United States when it is a tiny minority position of these reprobates and malcontents and miscreants. Now, it's not a complicated issue. Under no circumstances should Iran get a nuclear weapon. That's the Trump position, the MAGA position, the Reaganite position, the Rhino position, the position of everybody who has two brain cells to rub together. The debate is over whether you can trust an Islamic terrorist regime that has already lied its way through multiple administrations, has signed numerous documents with the UN, with Europe, with anybody they want. And yet here we are at the 11th hour. And then we're told it's not the 11th hour. There's some question about the intelligence, says Tulsi Gabbard. But Tulsi Gabbard is the only one. The IAEA says we're on the precipice. The Austrian intelligence says we're on the precipice. Our own head of, trying to find it, Central Command says they're on the precipice, that they can have nuclear material in 1 week if they sprint to it. He just testified to that today. The Israelis say they're on the precipice and they have the most to lose if there is, in fact, a military campaign. So, but Politico says there's some kind of question about this. Now, I know who's leaking. There was a big article in the New York Times a couple of years ago about Chatsworth Osborne Jr. He's been in Washington his entire life. He's worked the system his entire life. He's got all kinds of media at the Washington Post, at Politico and everything. Rails against the left, but he uses the left and they use him. I don't have any of these contacts. I don't talk to any of these people. If I put him into a lie detector test right now and asked him one media outlet to the other, he'd flunk if he lied. So that's the difference. I tell you the truth. I'm not working through any media. I'm not undermining the president. I'm not lobbying the president. I give my opinion if I'm asked. And of course, I'm paid to give my opinion here and on TV and on Blaze. It's that simple. My views are almost completely in line with the president's. Almost. I'm not changing his views. I'm not making his views. I don't treat him that way. Now, I know who the leakers are. Just a matter of time. In remarks at a Monday Business Roundtable, President Trump made clear that the Iranian proposals thus far were unacceptable. Quote, they're asking for things you can't do, Trump said. They don't want to give up, but they have to give up. They seek enrichment. We can't have enrichment. We want just the opposite. And so far, they're not there. None of this appeared in the Politico piece. None of it. I didn't say this. I didn't urge the president to say it. He said it. He said it. All the leaking to Axios and the leaking to Politico and the leaking to... It's the isolationists who are doing it. It's them. They're doing it. They're trying to undermine the president. And what they're actually doing, America, is they're making his job 1,000 times more difficult for the reasons I said. The Islamo-Nazi regime in Tehran watches them, listens to them, here's what they're saying, and they say, oh, wow, this influencer, he has no problem with it. This person in the administration, they have no problem with it. And so they are emboldened. They're emboldened. So last week, I'm not going to tell you everything that was discussed. I had a meeting with the president at his request. It's leaked to the media, and then they put a spin on it. Levin is lobbying Trump on the war. He asked my opinion. I gave my opinion. It's the same opinion I've given to you day in and day out. Same opinion I've given on Fox day in, day out. Same opinion I've given on Blaze day in and day out. And there's no surprise by anybody for anything. I'm not lobbying for anybody. I'm not lobbying for a group of people. And yet this is what these dishonest reprobates want you to believe. Why? Because they're desperate. They're the ones who have ties to Qatar. They're the ones who have ties to Putin. They're the ones who have ties to all these bizarre, evil regimes. They're the ones who are mouthpieces, the special pleaders for the enemy, not me. I was raised properly. I know who the good guys are and the bad guys are. I'm not a former Democrat who's now in the administration attacking in her own way the brave men who had to drop atomic bombs on Japan to end what could have been a forever war, or where we might have lost up to 1 million soldiers. This is sick. Sick, in my humble opinion. I'm not a hawk. I'm a realist. A realist. Foreign policy is about prudence. It's not about hawks and doves. It's not about ideology. This is what Rachel Bate is literally too stupid to understand. I've written about it in Liberty and Tyranny. I've explained it over and over on this program. She doesn't know me. She doesn't listen to this show. She doesn't watch Fox. No, she's planted. This information is planted to her by Chatsworth and the others, and she runs with it. She also works for ABC News. So she works for two media organizations that have serious questions of credibility. An influential group of GOP hawks has launched a behind-the-scenes lobbying offensive pressing President Donald Trump not only to back off his administration's quest for a nuclear deal with Iran, but greenlight an attack on Tehran by Israel. When did I do that? A lobbying offensive. An influential group of GOP hawks. Who am I working with? The campaign is raising alarms among Trump and his allies. Among Trump and his allies? Did they even talk to the president? He would have laughed at them. Well, by the way, at the end of the call, he invited my wife and me to have dinner at the White House in the next month or two. And if I said, that's funny, because if I do that, it'll be more the lobbying campaign by the hawks on Iran. And he laughed. And I won't tell you what word he used. He said, but don't worry about that. I'm not worried about it. During a private lunch, writes Rachel Bade and Felicia Schwartz, with the president at the White House last Wednesday, conservative talk show host Mark Levin told Trump that Iran was days away from building a nuclear weapon. Have I said that here, Mr. Producer? Have I said it on TV, Mr. Producer? An argument Trump's own intelligence team has told the president is not accurate. Yet his military advisors apparently are telling them it is accurate. And so is his CIA. So who are these intelligence advisors? We know who. According to an intelligence official, I counted 5 anonymous sources in her article. Not one of them would go on the record. Not one of them had the courage to go on the record. Not a damn one. So here's Rachel Bade, a fraud, a liar, who goes with 5 anonymous sources, lies about me, in my relationship with the president, and the whole story's about how the war hawks are lobbying the president, and we're not. Certainly I'm not. And then the isolationists, she doesn't call them isolationists. She doesn't call them any pejoratives, nothing. It's all one way, the 5 anonymous sources. And she goes on. On a separate front, MAGA loyalists have been warily eyeing Rupert Murdoch's papers, particularly the New York Post. See, this is the giveaway, Chatsworth, whatever. The hate for Fox. The vid won't take your crap. He doesn't like bullies. More than happy to engage with you. They're trying to push the president to make a decision that's not what he wants. A senior administration official told Politico, off the record, of course. Now, that's one of 2 people, and they know I know who they are. This person, like the others in the story, was granted anonymity to speak freely. Wow. Isn't that amazing? And to spread their lies. That's why they spoke anonymously. So Rachel Bade, we tried to get her on this program to discuss her story. We asked her twice, didn't you, Mr. Producer? And she ignored you. She ignored you. She does commentary for ABC News. She's the Washington writer for Politico. But she ignored Mr. Producer. I wanted to have her on here. I wanted to challenge her. I wanted to challenge her on the anonymous sources. I wanted to challenge her on the lobbying. I wanted to challenge her on what happened in the meeting. But she's a coward like they all are. She's a fraud. Rachel Bade, B-A-D-E. Now you're on my radar screen. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
You know, Americans love using their credit cards, one of the most secure and hassle-free ways to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com, guardyourcard.com, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The accident on the outer loop of the Beltway at the Little River Turnpike now moved to the right shoulder, but traffic is jammed up from the Dulles Toll Road, and it is slow on the outer loop between the Springfield Interchange and the Wilson Bridge. Inner loop, you will still find delays headed from 66 to the 270 spur and from 355 to New Hampshire Avenue. More delays on and off from 95 towards Ritchie Marlborough Road. You will still find police activity in Fairfax, southbound on Route 1 between Huntington Avenue and North Kings Highway. All lanes remain blocked. And there is still an accident in Fairfax westbound on 29 between Prosperity Avenue and Cedar Lane. 2 lanes are blocked and traffic is jammed from the Beltway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormbox and forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 67. Tomorrow, sunny with a high around 86.
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at American-Giant.com.
终于来了 McCrispy Strips 长条又鲜嫩多汁的鸡肉最适合蘸酱，或者不如来个双重蘸酱。但为何要停下来继续吧？全新 McCrispy Strips 现在就在 McDonald's。The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back.
Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Dads are great at giving you the bad credit talk, but you know who isn't? Bob Johnson Ford of Pulaski. Bob Johnson Ford of Pulaski is the bad credit headquarters with options galore to snatch a new or used car. Get started at bobjohnsonford.com.
This is the sound no parent wants to hear. It's the sound of a child with whooping cough, one of the many dangerous childhood diseases that can be prevented by immunizations. Whooping cough can cause serious complications, including pneumonia, seizures, brain swelling, and even death. Babies are most at risk. The best way to protect your child against diseases like this is to get all your kids' shots on time and take them for regular checkups. Talk to your child's healthcare provider. A message from the New York State Department of Health.
Sponsored by Rumble. Want to join 59 million others who are tuning in to a fresh alternative to mainstream news and information that isn't delivered with an agenda? Enjoy your daily dose of happenings from a platform that fights to protect your free speech. Download the Rumble app from your Apple Play or Google Play Store today and choose from thousands of creators covering everything from financial markets to daily events and more. Choose an open internet and free expression. Choose rumble.com today.
Warning! Inflation is back on the rise. The national debt is spiraling out of control. The stock market has been at an all-time high, and wars continue to rage across the globe. Experts are predicting a massive economic crash for 2025, and you should be ready. Will you sit on the sidelines and wait, or will you take action today to help protect your hard-earned retirement savings? Right now, you can get a free gold and silver kit from the top-rated precious metals company, Goldco, where you'll learn why tens of thousands of hardworking Americans and even the world's central banks are turning to precious metals to help protect and diversify their money. Get your free gold and silver kit from Goldco by calling 855-GOLD-IRA. You could even receive up to a 10% instant match on bonus silver for qualified accounts. Don't let your financial future slip through your fingers. Learn why so many Americans are diversifying with gold and silver today. Call 855-GOLD-IRA. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
WMAL, making sense of world events, because those who don't know history are doomed to repeat it. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Now, I do happen to know from friends at the White House that Chatsworth Osborne Jr. is constantly lobbying the White House, attempting to lobby the president, the vice president, Gabbard, and others on this issue, constantly. And in this article, the moron who wrote it, Rachel Bay, doesn't realize, she says, the lobbying has triggered, no, where's our buddy here? She mentions Charlie Kirk. You know, I'll tell you something about Charlie Kirk. I like Charlie Kirk. He's very honest about his positions. Doesn't mean we agree all the time, but he's not a sleazeball. He's not a sleazeball. He doesn't play games. He doesn't leak to the press, to the best of my knowledge. And Jack Posobiec, I don't know him. If I mispronounced it, I apologize. Sure, he's a great guy. I don't know anything about him. But that's that. But we know what's going on. The White House knows I know what's going on. Little media types like Politico and maybe the Daily Caller, which was founded by Chatsworth, and who knows? Oh, the Intelligence. Where the hell is that one? That was the Independent. You know, if I were Politico, I'd sue the Independent. Because I'd say about 80% of Isabel Keene's piece was plagiarized from Politico. She goes further, that I'm lobbying Trump with misinformation. What a bunch of jackasses. I'll be right back. Pure Talk, my wireless company, a veteran-led company, believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country deserves to proudly fly an American flag that was made in America. That's why Pure Talk is on a mission to give an allegiance flag, the highest quality American flag ever, to 1,000 U.S. veterans in time for the patriotic holidays. Switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk today. Know that you're supporting a company that will be providing these high-quality flags made in America to deserving veterans with plans from just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data. You can enjoy America's most dependable 5G network while cutting your cell phone bill, in many cases, in half. The average Pure Talk family saves over $1,000 a year. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will get you switched hassle-free in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250 and say Mark Levin to switch to a wireless company that supports our veterans. Switch to Pure Talk.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. An update from Fairfax County Police on the search for 19-year-old Kyle Coleman, whose car was found crashed and running in the woods in Tyson's early Saturday morning. Coleman wasn't in it, but his phone was. Police say they've deployed detectives, drones, police dogs, search and rescue teams, and helicopters, but still haven't found the Morehouse College student. A judge denies California Governor Gavin Newsom's emergency request to get the National Guard and Marines out of his city right now. Newsom says the president's deployment was illegal. The administration says the Constitution gives the president that authority. A hearing will be held on Thursday. Mr. Trump says if he didn't send the troops,
Los Angeles would be burning right now.
Newsom says the president's turning the military against the citizens. Traffic and weather next.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at shopify.com.
Around the clock updates and uncommon understanding.
Listen to this, because this stuff is going on behind the scenes and you don't know about it.
News Talk 105.9. Making sense of the news.
Turn that frown upside down. Bob Johnson Ford's turning bad credit into good credit. Get behind the wheel of a new or used car at Bob Johnson Ford, 84 Caprera Drive. Visit BobJohnsonFord.com or call 315-509-9386.
We're the stronger than we look type. I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 2. The braver than you think type.
I have to take insulin shots every single day.
The type that will stop at nothing.
No more blood sugar tests.
Absolutely nothing.
No more complications.
Until type 1 becomes type none.
Support JDRF's life-changing research, and one day you'll say, I helped turn type 1 into type none. Join us now at jdrf.org.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS. SIDS? You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Hey, 20 would you bid 30, 30 would you bid 40. That's the sound you're going to hear at the next Brostech auction. Hi, I'm Bernie Brostech of Brostech's Real Estate Auction Company of Baldwinsville, New York, and I have 40 years of proven experience in selling antiques, businesses, estates, households, residential and commercial and waterfront real estate. Call me at 678-2000 for a free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can receive top cash price for your real estate and personal property in one day the Brostech auction way. And it's sold.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news.
Mark Levin, the research arm of conservative media. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
You know, folks, we're very lucky to have this man in the Oval Office, President Trump. A judge, just so you know, just ruled, a federal district judge, in this bogus lawsuit that was brought by the Attorney General of California on behalf of the Governor of California, two true pathetic buffoons. that yes, he can bring in the National Guard. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we have experience with this over the decades with other presidents. They don't have to be called in by the governor. We had a few southern states that wouldn't allow black kids to go to school with white kids. And presidents have either sent in the active infantry or they have federalized the National Guard. It's that simple. And we went through some of the statutory language last night. So the president clearly has this authority. And it is amazing to me that the governor and the attorney general of California, two radical kooks, two failed, particularly the governor, two failed, hugely failed politicians. They say the president's not upholding the law, which he is. Well, they won't uphold the law. Well, they won't uphold the law. Now, it's obvious why the Democrats don't want to put down riots by illegal aliens, because that's their constituency. It's obvious why they don't want to put down riots on college campuses by Islamists, because that's their constituency. It's obvious why they don't want to put down anything that Marxists do, who show up at all these events, because that's their constituency. So these are Democrats who are rioting, or would be, or hope for Democrats. That's why the borders have been open. There's no, even the New York Times was talking about illegal immigration several months ago. I read it to you. The purpose of being really to change the nature of the voters. And so they want these people here. They want them to have children because they're banking on birthright citizenship. And then you have chain migration. And the ball game's over. You all have a one-party country like they do a one-party state in California. And then the ball game's over. Now, they can't get that, ladies and gentlemen. They can't get that through honest means, lawful means. And if it means letting in a few and keeping a few murderers, rapists, perverts, child molesters, and so forth, that's the price they have to pay, or we have to pay, that they're willing for us to pay. What the Democrats have been saying about Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, what they've been saying about these people is disgusting. Neo-Nazis, the idiot mayor of Boston, the things that they've been saying about these honorable men and women is just awful. But they've said it about cops. They've said it about cops. They've said it about Supreme Court justices that they don't like. And then when you push back, it's, oh, you're attacking the court system. Oh, you're the ones who don't like the cops. Oh, you must be a racist because you don't like all these illegal alien criminals among us. It's interesting that this happens almost exclusively in blue cities and blue states, isn't it, Mr. Producer? Almost exclusively. There have been some threats in Florida, and the governor said, okay, we'll deal with that, and we'll deal with it in a very aggressive way. So nothing's really happened in Florida. And there are big cities, or big enough cities, in Ohio, in Nashville, in Tennessee, in Texas for sure, some of it in Dallas, but they put it down. They put it down immediately. That's what Eisenhower did. That's what Reagan did as governor. That's what George H.W. Bush did in 1992. And that's what Donald Trump is doing right now. He wanted the National Guard, as I discussed here the other day, to protect the Capitol building on that January 6th, and it was rejected. I pointed this out, what's today, Tuesday? I pointed this out yesterday. It was rejected. He didn't like the look. It might not be a good look, So the mayor said no. Now they lie about that. No, they didn't. I mean, they were under attack and they were calling for the National Guard. We know who called for what. The Democrats. And so you have Jayapal out there giving speeches, defending the illegal alien. You say it's just like the fifth columnist isolationists who defend the indefensible when it comes to Iran or other enemy states. They take this in. So the rioters, the insurrectionists, they hear the Democrat Party's defending them. They hear the media's defending them. They hear them trashing Donald Trump or Secretary Hegseth or Secretary Noem or Tom Home and on and on and on. They hear this. And so they're motivated to dig in. They're motivated to fight. They're motivated to throw bricks and cinder blocks because they hear that there's one political party and 90% of the media that stand behind them. That's what they hear. And unfortunately, they're right. And once again, we see what's taking place. And once again, like in 2020, they tell us it's mostly peaceful. They tell us that, Joe Biden is Einstein. Same media, same tricks, same lies.
Fucking things. I hate pigeons.
Grabian, cut one, go.
The LA County Police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown that these agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up, aggression by these protesters that later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
The unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people. Most of them are having a normal day here on Sunday.
You've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed a protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
LAPD, by most estimates, had this under control last night.
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm. There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night.
There's been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. It's like nothing has happened.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting. People were driving by, honking their horns.
Just the systemic lying and deceit is just incredible. Once again, we see what took place. We hear what took place through the media. The media deny the media. The media deny what they're providing us with. Now, these people are giving their opinions, but they're liars. They're absolute liars. President Trump deserves 3 cheers. He deserves a pat on the back for what he did here and what he's going to continue to do. And he made it abundantly clear. We're going to put it down no matter what it takes, no matter where it occurs. That's a leader. That's a leader. Here's Trump in the White House today. Cut 2, go.
Mr. President, when is the last time you spoke with Governor Newsom?
A day ago. Called him up to tell him got to do a better job. He's doing a bad job, causing a lot of death and a lot of potential death. If we didn't send out the National Guard, and last time we gave him a little additional help, you would have Los Angeles would be burning right now. Los Angeles would be not a lot different than what you saw take place in California and Los Angeles just a little while ago. And, you got to remember, we have the Olympics coming. And we don't want people looking at Los Angeles like it would have been. It would have been bad. Last night, they had total control. If we didn't have the military in there, the National Guard, and then we also sent in some Marines. We had some bad people. We have people, they look in your face and they spit right in your face. They're animals. And these are paid insurrectionists. These are paid troublemakers. They're agitators. They're paid. Do you think somebody walks up to a curb and starts hammering pieces out, has all the equipment necessary, and starts handing it out to people to use as a weapon? These are paid insurrectionists or agitators or troublemakers. You can call it whatever you want. And we ended it, and we have in custody some very bad people. Some very bad people.
And you know, every now and then you get a kernel of truth from these liars like the mayor of LA or the governor of California. She said that there was some kind of network at work that, and I'm paraphrasing, to flip up a switch, they just show up and they appear, and it's obvious. And that they're coming in from even out of the state as fast as they can, because this is what goes on in this country now. We have a lot of dark money that funds these operations, a lot of dark money that's funding what takes place on our college campuses that we've talked about at great length here. A lot of it. The fact that the police chief said they were overwhelmed, their numbers were too big. And so you see, everything would be fine if the feds would just stay out of it. If ICE wouldn't go in there and pull out the illegal alien criminals who need to be deported. If Trump would just let local, you know, I'm so sick of this. These cities and these states, especially the blue cities and blue states, they come to the federal government. They always want subsidies, much more money than anybody else. When they have natural disasters, you and I are to pay for it. But when something like this happens, they say, leave us alone, we'll handle it. Well, you know what? That's pretty much what happened in 2020, and it was a disaster, and it caught on in every major city in every blue state in the country. And who pays for most of this? All of us. The citizens of the United States, not just the citizens of a city or a state. This is our country. When we go to war, we fight for the country. We don't fight for a city or a state. When we secure our border, we're trying to secure our country, not a particular city or state. It is the United States of America. There is federalism, of course. And if local cops and state police can handle a situation, then the federal government doesn't get involved. In fact, 99.999% of the time, it doesn't. But here, it was obvious. Now, you either have a leader who sees it and pulls the trigger and takes care of it, or you don't. Joe Biden didn't. He didn't. Newsom did not. The mayor did not. Now, I love this DA who goes around and he says, you know, the vast majority of the people in LA were not there. The vast majority of people who were protesting were doing it peacefully. Then there was a small group within the protesters. Ladies and gentlemen, you never have a majority of the people riding in a city or a country where you cease to have a city or a country. It's always a small band. Some of the small bands are bigger than others, but it's always a fraction of the community. But let me give you an example. When you have revolutions around the world, when you look at the communist revolution, when you look at Lenin's revolution, when you look at these various revolutions that take place around the world, the vast majority of them are a minority part of the population. Because most other people are minding their own business. They just want to live. They just want to be left alone. They just want to be able to be with their families and so forth. So they're not involved in revolutionary activity. On the other hand, they're not involved in stopping revolutionary activity. So when I heard the DA say what he said, I thought, you keep saying the same damn thing. What does that have to do with anything? That every citizen of LA hasn't risen up and committed acts of violence, aren't participating in riots in order to keep criminal illegal aliens in the country. That's not the issue. The issue is the ones who do rise up. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news. Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world? The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know, all without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
Thank you.
Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store, and stay connected.
Traffic still slow in the district on New York Avenue outbound between the 3rd Street Tunnel and North Capitol Street, where there are reports of a crash. Inbound side still heavy from 4th Street to the 3rd Street Tunnel. In Fairfax, the incident on Route 1 southbound between Huntington Avenue and North Kings Highway cleared. Everything there has been reopened. On the Beltway, on the inner loop of the off-ramp to Central Avenue, that is exit 15. That off-ramp is closed with accident activity. And this accident also affects the westbound lanes of Central Avenue west of the Beltway, where the 2 right lanes are blocked. In Southeast, there is still police activity on Benning Road just north of Southern Avenue. Now from GarageStoryFair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 67. Tomorrow, sunny with a high around 86.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
If you are among the 6 million Americans living with Alzheimer's or care for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, there is free help and support available 24/7. Visit alz.org or call 800-272-3900.
Hi, I'm Erica, an English major at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Dr. Larry Arnn with a Constitution Minute.
The human soul is made to learn, and the highest things of life are the best things to learn. One of these, it turns out, is the way we govern ourselves, and one of the best examples of that is the Constitution of the United States. It explains what our government should look like and how it should function to best protect our rights. It was created to give us the freedom to make choices about the way we wish to live. Unfortunately, most colleges and universities today fail to teach our Constitution. When they do, they often denigrate it. This is dangerous because it is impossible to preserve our liberty if we don't understand where it comes from and how to protect it. Having a proper civics education is essential to preserving our freedom.
To learn more and get a free pocket Constitution, visit constitutionminute.com.
This Constitution Minute was furnished by Hillsdale College.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with everything you're saying.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
My heart is great for what's going on.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. More than just politics, because laughter is the best medicine. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
By the way, you're going to see a really smart piece debunking this Politico article. Go to National Review. Noah Rothman's piece is really, really good. I will post that. That's how preposterous these people are. It's just really a joke. We're living in dangerous times. You can see it. You can see it in LA and environs. You can see it in some of the other cities, but it's all over the country. Open borders, illegal immigrants, Soros judges, Soros prosecutors. You see it. I see it. We all know it. Then they want to regulate your right to bear arms. They undermine the cops. They undermine the Border Patrol. They undermine ICE, local, state, and federal law enforcement. They hate them. They pretend they like them, but they hate them. And then they want to take your guns away. Well, this is one of the reasons I trust Byrna, B-Y-R-N-A, and their new compact launcher, the CL. The Byrna CL is one of the smallest non-lethal pistols in the world, about the size of your smartphone. But don't let the size fool you. Fires 61 caliber kinetic and chemical rounds where available at up to 400 feet per second with 41 joules of stopping power per square inch. Now, what does all that technical mumbo jumbo mean? It means one shot, and it does its business. It can stop threats cold without using deadly force. Now, here's the cool thing. It's legal in all 50 states, no permits, no background checks. And here's the best part. It ships directly to your home. So help be prepared to defend yourself and loved ones without the many complexities of a homicide. Made in America, over 80% of its components U.S. sourced and hand-assembled in Fort Wayne, Indiana. So go to Byrna.com, that's Byrna.com, 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 and get details there. Donald Trump at the White House today. Cut 3, go.
Vote the Insurrection Act to deal with the situation in California?
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see, but I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs, pounding it, breaking up all, and handing these big chunks of concrete to people. And they were taking that concrete, going up on bridges and dropping it into the roof of a car. They were throwing it at our police. They were throwing it at our soldiers that are there. And we got it stopped, and we have them in custody right now. Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire, and we have it in great shape. I'm not playing around.
It's just amazing. And I have an audio list here that has Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Jimmy Panetta, Democrat, California, Adam Schiff, one of their senators, John Garamendi, one of their senators. I think he was the lieutenant governor at one point. Every single Democrat except Fetterman. Every single Democrat except Fetterman. No wonder they hate Fetterman. No wonder they're trying to make him out as mentally unfit. But they're mentally unfit. They're blaming Trump. They're blaming Stephen Miller. They're talking about the dictators. It's the same. This is a replay. This is a replay from 2020. We've already seen this movie, and we don't like it. And now the president is putting it down. God bless him. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
I agree with you 100%.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
There's a lot of us out there.
Making sense of the news.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Here's a brief message from industry. This ad is brought to you by GSK. We invite you to visit hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com.
Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
Hey, I'm Reba McEntire. In life, you'll hear a lot of people tell you that you can do anything you want. I'm here to tell you that's true. Since I was a little girl, I dreamed of becoming a successful singer and entertainer. It took a lot of hard work, dedication, and perseverance to find my success, but it was worth it. I never gave up on my dreams. Remember, you can never have a dream come true until you've had a dream. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable pocket hose copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 7. I'm Heather Curtis. Breaking this hour, divers with Fairfax County Police recovered a human body from a small body of water near West Park Drive and Galleria Drive in Tysons. They're looking into the possibility that it could be that of 19-year-old Kyle Coleman, who disappeared after his car crashed into the woods in Tysons early last Saturday morning. Police found his car empty and still running. They did not find any blood in it, but they did find something troubling: his phone. Coleman had gone out with friends after finishing his first semester at Morehouse College. President Trump defending his decision to deploy 4,000 National Guard soldiers and 700 Marines to L.A. as he addresses troops at Fort Bragg. He says he sent them
to protect federal law enforcement from the attacks of a vicious and violent mob. And some of the radical left, they say, oh, that's not nice. Well, if we didn't do it, there wouldn't be a Los Angeles. It would be burning today.
A judge today rejected California Governor Gavin Newsom's emergency appeal asking the court to block the deployments, but set a hearing for Thursday. Newsom says they're illegal. The Trump administration says the Constitution allows it. LA Mayor Karen Bass.
This is just absolutely unnecessary. People have asked me, what are the Marines going to do when they get here? That's a good question. I have no idea.
Meanwhile, President Trump says he's open to invoking the Insurrection Act to quell the protest. Protesters right now have shut down the freeway, and the mayor has said she is considering a potential curfew. Newsom says that invoking the Insurrection Act will create the chaos they're trying to mitigate. Meanwhile, the president is a warning ahead of the Army's 250th birthday parade and festival in D.C. on Saturday.
And for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And
Park Police Chief Jessica Taylor said yesterday the National Park Service has several permits pending for protests.
From what we reviewed thus far in our communications list, we don't have any significant concerns.
And people, you are encouraged to take Metro if you're going down on Saturday for that birthday celebration. And speaking of Metro, what was a no in April is a yes moving forward when it comes to Metro expanding the use of automatic train operation.
We have asked for and received all results of the rules compliance and indicated to Metro Rail. With this information, we will be evaluating further expansion of ATO.
Washington Metro Rail Safety Commission System and Engineering Director Paul Smith wanted answers from WMATA regarding station overruns on the Red Line before blessing expanded use of automatic train operation. Now, conversations between the two have led to extra notifications to train operators, vigorous rules checks, and tighter oversight, all in an effort to avoid platform overruns. Numbers on the Red Line have dropped from 77 in January to just 16 in May. Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
A former D.C. teacher has been ordered to pay back nearly $500,000 fraudulent insurance claims.
Maryland's Attorney General today announcing that 50-year-old D.C. resident Kanika Oni Boston stole over $430,000 by filing phony claims for short-term disability, accident, and health event policies with both Aflac and National Teachers Association Life. The AG's office says she also applied for supplemental policies in her own name and in the names of others, both real and fictitious. As part of her guilty plea, she's made full restitution and will be sentenced this August. Barbara Britt, WMAL and WMAL.com.
Traffic and weather next.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra durable pocket hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free pocket pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.
Fucking typing it like that.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid carpet.
Tiffany didn't get the joke, or Stephanie didn't get the joke. She's supposed to say a submarine. My mother, well, I don't know. All women are long, black, and full of semen, right? Anyway, that was funny. Some people thought that bothered me. It didn't. It didn't bother me at all.
That off-ramp is closed with accident activity, and this accident also affects the westbound lanes of Central Avenue west to the Beltway, where the 2 right lanes are blocked. In Southeast,
Have you noticed the desperation of Patrick Rowe?
Now on GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Temperatures this evening fall to about 72.
Acid Drip has his chat on repeat. His apartment flooded out.
61 to 68 degrees. Lower humidity for Wednesday now, with sunshine and temperatures that'll top out between 82 and 87 degrees. From 7 News, Chief Meteorologist Rhonda Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now, 80 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis, WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
In the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
And we got so much more. We're going to keep at it. But we're going to bounce around a little bit. Because I just saw this piece by Noah Rothman, National Review, about half an hour ago. It's a very smart piece. And this is a very smart audience, so many of you will identify with this. Trump's Iran problem isn't the GOP hawks' fault, it's Iran's. This offer won't be around forever, said Secretary of State Marco Rubio last month. The warning accompanied the Trump administration's overture to Iran and what it billed as the best it could do if Tehran hoped to avoid hostilities over its nuclear program. At some point, Rubio continued, decisions will have to be made about more maximum pressure and other options because Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. It's almost 1 month later, he writes, and we appear no closer to the point of exhaustion. The Iranians took Trump's proposal, one that multiple reports indicated would have allowed Iran to enrich uranium on its soil, despite administration officials' insistence that it would accept no indigenous enrichment capacity, balled it up and threw it back in our faces. They're just asking for things that you can't do, Trump told reporters yesterday. They seek enrichment. We can't have enrichment. That's what Trump said. And yet the eternal talks are set to continue this weekend in Muscat, where the delegates will presumably restate their mutually exclusive and unbridgeable positions once again. For some inexplicable reason, Politico, that would be Ruth Bade, Politico surveyed this landscape and determined that the GOP hawks are in the driver's seat. No, what happened was Chatsworth leaked to her, gave her the story, and she was the stenographer.
When he says Chatsworth,
he does. That's what Politico.
I'm not sure if he's still talking about Tucker Carlson or not.
And so she looks like a damnable fool. Owing to an obvious over-reliance on the restrainers, quote unquote, in the Trump administration as sources, a group that is eager to leak to the press in private, as they are to condemn the mainstream media for the benefit of their constituents. And we saw that in the New York Times piece about Chatsworth. Politico's dispatch sounds the alarms over the degree to which security-minded Americans, not, the Iranians, are scuttling the prospects for peace. The evidence? The existence of radio host Mark Levin, for one. Levin has warned the administration that Iran could be days away from building a fissionable device, something Trump's own intelligence team has told the president is not accurate, Politico noted. That would be comforting, save for the dubious source of
it's about nuclear weapons.
The contradictory evidence indicating that Iran is already a threshold nuclear state, I'm going to hold.
Of course,
to it,
them
though,
British
for your
fucks won't come in here
In addition, Levin has
except to
impugned
try to
competency
spam my
of
chat and
all-purpose
insult me. That's all they
negotiator,
have.
He writes, Steve Witkoff, who has little to show for
I hope
his
Russia
work
plants
so
one
far.
right in the middle of them
That's him
motherfuckers.
writing.
Not really.
Beyond Levin, the MAGA movement is equally irritated with the New York Post editorial board, which has independently arrived at many of Levin's conclusions. Quote, there's clearly a lobby for war with Iran versus those who are more aligned with the president, unquote. One anonymous source, who is obviously within the restrainer camp, insisted. It's too bad they're not the restrainer camp for Iran, by the way. The thing is, this unnamed senior administration official might be right. The so-called restrainer set may be closer to the president's instincts. Their problem is that the world simply refuses to comply with their notions of how it should work. Tulsi Gabbard's problem isn't that we're closer to the brink of nuclear annihilation than ever before, quote unquote. Her problem is that Trump is becoming increasingly frustrated with Russia's refusal to abandon its war of conquest in the face of mounting American gestures of goodwill. She now implies that anything other than more unrequited gestures will beget nuclear Armageddon. Not because that's true, but because that argument might persuade the president to toe her pacifist line. Likewise, J.D. Vance, Tucker Carlson, Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec, these are the people mentioned in the Politico piece that was planted by that side of the aisle. The cast of unnamed restrainers on whom Politico relies for juicy quotes say their problem is with the right's hawks, but that's misdirection. Their problem is with Iran.
My baby squirrel is out there right now.
Its enrichment capabilities. The Americans who will not countenance allowing the Islamic Republic to break out with a nuclear weapon at a time and place of its choosing. Their fear isn't that the hawks are winning the argument, it's that they're losing it. They're right about that, but it's no one's fault but their own. Like Barack Obama's brain trust before them, they approached foreign policy from a highly theoretical perspective. Obama's foreign policy practitioners refused to revisit the flawed framework they applied to international affairs, even after it proved itself fatally flawed. Instead, they blamed their shortcomings on domestic political opponents, who were accused of engineering the obstacles in the way of Obama's success. But the former president's critics didn't create those obstacles. They merely noticed them. If the past is prologue, we should expect to see Trump's frustrated advisors succumb to the bitterness that consumed Obama's team by the end of his tenure. It will be our fault when the whole edifice collapses, you see, meaning mine and the others. Be warned, the degree to which we will be castigated for being unworthy of their practical genius will be hard to stomach. We can take solace in the fact that it is a coping mechanism, one that is on full display in Politico's expose. The problems besetting Trump in relation to Iran are, according to this reporting, myriad. The hawks, the pro-military community, the Israelis.
Something bling, but I don't see anything.
President. Nonsense. His problem, our problem, is reality. And that reality, ladies and gentlemen, is Iran. Brilliantly written by Noah Rothman, a senior writer at NR. So I wanted to point that out to you because he's right, because it's obvious to a number of people, including me, that these people are getting desperate. Desperate. Because the hawks are going to win the argument. No, because Iran will not capitulate. Iran's not biting. And so their answer is, so Iran gets a nuclear weapon. They've shifted their position. So now it's manageable. What's the problem? Pakistan has one. Other countries have one. We heard that from Chatsworth Osborne Jr. We've heard it from others who I won't name, one of them my friends, because it's stupid. Because those other countries haven't declared effectively war against us. They're not run by terrorists who keep talking about destroying America. They're not focused on wiping out Israel or cities in America. There is a little difference, you know, if you use your noggin. But this is the problem with ideologues versus those who are prudent. I'm prudent. There are many cases where I don't support going into war. This was one of the complaints about John McCain and some of the others. I was no McCain guy. But that said, these people are ideological isolationists. I posted Tulsi Gabbard's unbelievably crazy video of Hiroshima, her comments on it and her graphics and so forth, where she applies no context whatsoever for what went down and why it went down. This crowd says they're America first. They hate us. They hate us. And so now Truman, the dropping of the 2 bombs, it was harmful. And the consequences were so horrendous, and they were horrendous, that it should have been done. Now, this is somebody keeps talking about the forever war. We can't have a forever war. The forever wars, the forever wars. Well, World War II was not a forever war, was it? But then I think to myself, not only does she get us wrong, the United States of America, instinctively, she's always trashing us. What else does she get wrong? Well, she just gave an example of a nuclear weapon, or an atomic bomb, I should say, 2 of them. We're trying to prevent Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Shouldn't she be at the forefront of fighting that? Apparently not.
You can somewhat see that bird feeder and my rail.
The difference between me and them, you see, is I'm on the record. My name's attached to what I do. The words are coming out of my mouth. I don't have 5 anonymous sources going to Politico because they're cowards. Absolute cowards. And when we come back to the insurrection at hand, this insurrection is led by the Democrat Party. That's what it is. It is an insurrection by the Democrat Party. Before it was BLM, then it was the Islamists on our college campuses. Now it's illegal aliens and a whole bunch of other people. They always come to the defense of the insurrectionists, the violent rioters. They're not the ones that held hearings on these colleges and universities. They're not the ones calling for law and order. No, they're calling for the opposite. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you got to hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Sponsored by Rumble. From spicy podcasts to wild live streams, there's always something new on Rumble. Watch, comment, and connect with a real community that's actually awake. Comment in the live chat and talk directly to your favorite streamers. Rumble provides you with your daily dose of uncensored fun, facts, and fire. Download the Rumble app from your Apple Play or Google Play store today. Choose an open internet and free expression. Choose rumble.com today.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Folks have been shouting from the rooftops for years. The only way we save this republic is standing up, speaking out, fighting back. And guess what? We're finally seeing it happen. There's momentum towards common sense, but we can't take it for granted. This country doesn't fix itself. It takes people who care, people who are willing to stand up and be counted. We can't do it alone. Without all of our voices being heard, we're in trouble. That's why I'm calling on you to join AMAC. Go to amac.us/Levin, amac.us/Levin. Join the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC is the conservative alternative to that other organization. For as low as $12 a year, $1 a month, you get a subscription to their fantastic magazine, incredible discounts and benefits, free resources, and most importantly, a community of patriots like you who are fed up. The Association of Mature American Citizens is fighting for you, for faith, family, freedom. That's what they stand for, and that's what America needs right now. Visit amac.us/Levin, amac.us/Levin.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for what you do.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
You give me hope.
Making sense of the news.
Wednesday, the latest on the LA riots and what really caused this. It wasn't an ICE raid on a Home Depot. We'll tell you the truth. O'Connor and Company, 5 to 9 a.m. on WMAL.
So we have a ruling about an hour ago from Judge Charles Breyer. Judge Charles Breyer is the younger brother of the retired Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. And Judge Breyer, I'll quote as it's written here, balked at Governor Gavin Newsom's request to block the Trump administration's use of the National Guard and Marines today. Said Breyer ordered a briefing tomorrow and a hearing Thursday. Earlier in the day, the Trump administration called Newsom's motion for an emergency temporary restraining order legally meritless in pursuit of an extraordinary, unprecedented, and dangerous court order, claiming the court has no authority. Now, folks, this is a wildly reckless lawsuit. There is no way, I don't care how this judge ultimately rules, there is no way that this can be upheld because it violates not only the constitutional powers of the federal government under these circumstances, but our own precedent. This is a frivolous case. Now, you and I, as well as people in the state, we're going to be left paying for all this. So you have a cleanup underway. And Newsom, I hope, is sealing his political death warrant with filings like this. Newsom's effort to block federal incursion in California comes a day after Trump doubled the National Guard presence in LA to 4,000, deployed 700 Marines. Look how they write about this act. USA yesterday. Then they talk about the cost of this like it's Trump creating the costs. The media are so sick. I spent a half hour explaining Politico how sick those bastards are. The media are so sick. Since Friday, officers have had confrontations with protesters, leading to the use of pepper spray, flashbangs, as officials announced more than 150 arrests. By the way, 5 officers now have been injured. Now, remember, we have the 2026 World Cup coming, the Olympics coming, and the city's burning. He doesn't want to humiliate himself. But the Democrats are making it abundantly clear. What's interesting to me, when these cities burn, it doesn't hurt most of the outer suburbs and the rural areas and so forth and so on, big chunks of the country. It affects the metropolitan areas. The people who live there, the vast majority of whom are Democrats. Do they like this? They've made it clear they don't. Do they like all the illegal immigrants there? They've made it clear they don't. Do they like their tax dollars being used for benefits for illegal immigrants? Excuse me. They've made it clear they don't. But you see, the Democrat Party doesn't care. Why? Well, we'll talk about that more when my book on power comes out. But there is a very logical and experiential answer to that. They just need to win one more election. That's how they view it. One more. Then we'll get a permanent grip on the country. That's what the border was open for. That's why they had the border open. We just need one more election. That's why one of their judges ruled that you don't have to have voter ID to demonstrate you're a citizen in federal elections, is they keep tearing down the barriers to fraud. They keep enshrining fraud as a legitimate basis for voting. They're working on the voting system. They've got the court system. They hope to topple the Supreme Court with a bunch of lunatic appointments. Once, I think Clarence Thomas is like 80 years old. I fear about this. I worry about this. And that's their attitude, because they're going to permanently change. They're going to look, this is what they do in state after state. This is what they did in Illinois, which had been a Republican state. This is what they do in California, which had been a Republican state. This is what they've done in Georgia, or trying to do in Georgia. Once they get their hands on the governorship there, it's all over. And they've done it in many states. It's not that long ago where Ronald Reagan won 49 states and he almost won Minnesota. But everything's changed. The voting system has changed. The demographics, immigration system have changed. The judiciary has been changed by the hard left, by the American Marxists. But now they're out of the closet. They're out of the closet. They're actually out there defending the hoodlums, the rioters, the arsonists, even the criminals. Now, they're very clever. They're very slick, although the people are onto them. Listen, I favor due process. Just because I was down there in El Salvador with Garcia, who's sort of a subhuman lowlife, that doesn't mean I support Garcia. I support due process, says Van Hollen of Maryland. While they were basically sharing a wet kiss down there, it was so disgusting. And notice the media came to their defense too, and they always do. Tell me, why is CNN still around? They have no viewers. They got to have George Clooney on there to get some numbers, but George Clooney isn't going to do a dance and a sing event every weekend. So why is CNN and MSNBC? This is the kind of quality programming you get at MSNBC. Here's Rachel Maddow, who's never been right about anything. And if I read reports correctly, makes $20 million for a show once a week. Is that right, Mr. Producer? It pays to be a Marxist kook, doesn't
it? What in the fuck? Wow, these fuckers.
To terminate parts of the Constitution, and he's decided that he doesn't
she's such a low life, really, America. She's such a low life. He's not a dictator. The court just said what he's done is fine. He's trying to bring peace and order to a Democrat city that is overwhelmed with illegal aliens and others. He's trying to bring peace and order back to our colleges and universities. When lunatics like Maddow and her party have been cheering this on, I mean, folks, and she's there. They give her a platform, Comcast and MSNBC, to constantly call the president a dictator, for their hosts to keep calling him Hitler and other names. I blame this on these corporatist media organizations. I mean, if it wasn't for them, these platforms wouldn't be available to all of these head cases. I'll be right back. Folks, we're seeing something truly disturbing. Anti-Semitism is on the rise around the world, and sadly right here in America. Jewish schools are being targeted, synagogues threatened, families live in fear. It's something we hope we'd never see again in our lifetime, certainly not in America. And let me say this, silence is not an option. This is the moment to take a stand. That's why I want to tell you about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, or IFCJ, a fantastic group. They're on the front lines providing real help where it's needed most. They're giving food and shelter to Jewish families under threat, building bomb shelters for children, helping survivors of hate rebuild their lives. They don't just respond to crises. They work every single day to prevent them. To learn more about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and their life-saving work in Israel and around the world, go to levinforthefellowship.org. That's Levin for thefellowship.org. levinforthefellowship.org. That's Levin for thefellowship.org. Thank you, and God bless.
On the GW Parkway, northbound in Arlington, jammed up between the Overlooks and 123. On 395 northbound in Arlington, jammed up between 110 and the Southwest Freeway, it's in D.C. On the Beltway, in loop in Tysons, stop and go between Leesburg Pike and the Claire Barton Parkway. The outer loop of the Beltway in Alexandria is jammed between the Van Dorn Street exit and the Wilson Bridge. And southbound 95 in Newington, stop and go between the Fairfax County Parkway and 123. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm and Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 67. Tomorrow, sunny with a high around 86.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
How's it going? I'm having a stroke. Are you going to shake my hand? I'm having a stroke. Wow, you're not even moving your arm. I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST, F, face drooping, A, arm weakness, S, speech difficulty, T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
While serving in Iraq, our vehicle was hit. They didn't think I was going to make it. I'm LaToya Lucas, and I'm a veteran. I had to learn to live with the scars, both visible and invisible.
DAV helps veterans like LaToya get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is overcoming my wounds so I can help other veterans.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
For a local news source you can trust, visit WMAL.com.
Thank God for that.
Get the day's top stories, stream your favorite WMAL shows, access our podcast archives, and more. WMAL.com, making sense of your world online.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
Shopping is hard. Nothing ever fits.
Everything I own was a birthday present.
I got this Hawaiian shirt on vacation 10 years ago. And now I'm the Hawaiian shirt guy.
There's a better way. Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Just share your size, style, and budget, and done. Your personal stylist sends pieces picked just for you.
That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Free shipping and returns. No subscription required. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
Making sense of your world.
I can't believe this.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
And I am so with you.
Making sense of the news. WMAL. Making sense of education, because what's happening in your kid's school matters. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Saving America, one show at a time. The Mark Levin Show, 877-381-3811.
To say what a liar this Gavin Newsom is. It was fascinating to watch Fox with John Roberts. President Trump was watching the Fox as he was winging his way, I think, to Fort Bragg. And Newsom, said that Trump did not call him because Trump had mentioned at a presser, not a formal press event, but on the tarmac or wherever, maybe on the plane, that he had in fact spoken with Newsom the day or the night before and told him what he thought. And I played that clip for you. Newsom denied that it occurred. So Trump, of course, he tracks down the information. His first call was not answered. His second call was answered, and they spoke for 16 minutes. And he sent the log information to John Roberts while John Roberts was broadcasting, showing that is, in fact, what took place. So Newsom is just such a pathological liar. I don't know how these guys live with themselves. They watch a whole community burn. They say there's water, there's no water, and then they blame everybody else. They see what's happening with the violence and so forth and the illegal immigration, and they don't lift a finger, and then they blame Trump who puts his foot down. I mean, these people are really horrid, aren't they? Absolutely horrid. Pure Talk is my wireless company. It's a veteran-led company, founded by a veteran, patriotic employees right here in America. Believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country deserves to proudly fly an American flag, a real American flag made in America. That's why Pure Talk is on a mission to give an allegiance flag, the highest quality American flag, period, to 1,000 U.S. veterans in time for our patriotic holidays, Flag Day, U.S. Army's birthday, Independence Day. That's right. Switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk today. Know that you're supporting a company that will be providing these high-quality flags to deserving veterans. And there's more. With plans from just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, you can enjoy America's most dependable 5G network while cutting your cell phone bill, in many cases, in half. And I said the other night, so many people come up to me and say they love Pure Talk. They wish they had switched earlier. I'm deadly serious about this. The average Pure Talk family saves over $1,000 a year. Just dial pound 250. That's pound 250. Say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will get you switched hassle-free in as little as 10 minutes. We're always looking for sponsors that are patriotic, that are substantive, that are cutting edge, and that will really give you a financial break. Pure Talk is one of the best of the best. They are a tremendous sponsor because of you, because they serve you. Again, dial pound 250, and say the keyword Mark Levin. Switch to a wireless company that supports our veterans, supports you, their customers, and switch to Pure Talk. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. We have Maria Elena Salinas, former Univision news anchor on CNN. And you know, these people say things. The media are so corrupt. They say things they know not to be true, whether it's Politico or this. And our buddy Ben Ferguson. Our buddy Ben Ferguson was a great broadcaster who sits in here from time to time. He's going at it with Salinas. Listen to this. It's not very long. Cut 13, go.
I don't like to use the word illegal. It is undocumented. Coming into the country without documents
It's not illegal. It's not a crime. It is
Yes,
a
it is.
excuse me. It is a
There was a tourist
can I
got
finish,
arrested in
please?
New York.
It is a misdemeanor. And
It's
it is-
against the law.
It is
If
a
I steal gum,
misdemeanor.
it's a misdemeanor,
It is
but I broke
just a
the
minute.
law.
It is a misdemeanor, just like DUI is a misdemeanor, just like indecent
I've been hit by a
assault
drunk
is a
driver who
misdemeanor.
died.
And-
Don't tell me that's a misdemeanor when he crashed my family over 100 miles an hour.
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry. That if you want to say that DUI is somehow a misdemeanor and we should treat it like it's not committing a criminal act, you said it's a misdemeanor like it's the same thing.
It is a misdemeanor, just like coming
It's
into
still
the Congress.
breaking the
Okay,
law.
Isn't it amazing? Ben is so right on. I mean, he owned her, but they kept interrupting him. They didn't want him to speak. It's the way it works at the Constipated News Network, as well as MSLSD and so forth. Really awful. Awful. The excuses that are made. Here we have Jacob Soboroff, a reporter on MSNBC outside a Home Depot in LA. These aren't reporters. These aren't serious journalists. And their guests are just advocates for criminal activity. Cut 14, go.
The big picture is Los Angeles is a so-called majority-minority city and a majority-minority state. There are more people of color that live in Los Angeles than white people at this point. And many of those people are undocumented. By some counts, 10% of the population of LA County, one of the largest counties, the largest county by population in the United States, is undocumented, maybe as many as 1 million people. Those people are our neighbors, our coworkers, our classmates, our friends, our parishioners, fellow parishioners in churches.
Our murderers, our rapists, our pedophiles, our fraudsters that steal Social Security and other benefits. I mean, they're not all perfect, are they, Mr. Reporter? And Trump's going after the worst of the worst first, isn't he? The worst of the worst attack some of your neighbors, your friends, your fellow parishioners who are illegal aliens. You're not standing up for them. You're standing up for the criminals. And you're supposed to be a reporter, but you're not a reporter. You're a propagandist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going to take in this country with the Democrats and the constituency that's growing, illegal aliens, Islamists, Marxists, and other reprobates. I don't know what it's going to take. Apparently the riots aren't going to convince the Democrats. They're all well and good for that. I mean, after all, that's just their constituents letting off a little steam. They're always peaceful, you know, peaceful protesters. It's actually become a laugh line now. But this is utter lawlessness. It's just like when Doge was coming up with all this fraud that was taking place and all this misapplication of massive amounts of money. They were okay with that because it's going to their people, going to their causes, going to their favorite countries and so forth and so on. There's nothing wrong with them. So there's no moral standards, none. Again, truthfully, I'm not allowed to do it yet, but I can't wait for my book on power to come out. I address all of this and a lot more from a philosophical perspective and a practical perspective as it applies to current activities. And I just wish I could dig into it a little bit more, but I'm not allowed to. I'm sorry, I just can't, but we will. Because this is very, very important to understand. Very important. I'll give you a little taste, regardless of what they say. This is what I call negative power. I divide power into different categories. This is what I call negative power. And negative power is power that's used. In some cases, it's a more soft negative power, a more aggressive negative power, you know, like fascism and Marxism are more aggressive forms of negative power. But the Democrat Party exercises negative power. Negative power is the power to coerce. Negative power is the power to violate in order to secure power for yourself. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, obviously, I want to expand on this and explain it much more broadly and deeply when the time comes. But all of this is going to make sense. It doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you do it or anybody else should do it. But it's all going to make sense because I hear on TV and everywhere else all the time, don't they know that they're going to lose if they keep doing this? Don't they know that this is why they lost last time? Don't they know? Well, there's answers to this. Because our mindset doesn't work like their mindset. Our mindset doesn't work like the Marxist mindset, like the Islamist mindset, or quite frankly, the Democrat Party leadership's mindset. Not Democrat Party members, the people who are in charge of the party, this institution that is so hostile to the United States. What are they doing, and why are they doing it, and what do they hope to get out of it, and what are they going to do in the future? Exactly. It's a mindset, just like with the Iranian Islamist terrorists. It's a mindset. In order to understand what you're negotiating with, in order to understand what they're capable of, you need to understand their mindset in their pursuit of power and their purpose for the pursuit of power. You know, people are going to attack me all they want, but that's not going to resolve the problem. They're the problem. Their mindset is the problem. Their idea of power, how to attain it, how to hold it, how to expand it, that's the problem. And so that's why I take this word and I break it down into all its component parts. And all its component parts. There it is. It's on Amazon. Comes out, 6 weeks, give or take. Some of the embargoed copies will start to go out to some friends and people who might be interested in it. And I can't wait for it to come out. I'm chomping at the bit, and I want to give out as many copies over the program, signed copies as I can, but there's millions of you, and there's only a couple hundred of those. But I know you're going to love it. And I want to thank Barnes & Noble this time that has made a substantial order for the books. I want to thank Costco that has pulled back on books. However, when it comes to my book, they've made a substantial order for the books. I want to thank, obviously, Amazon, which always makes a significant order for the books and makes them available to you and has them available to you right now, as do the others, by the way, except for Costco. But I want to thank them because I see none of the censorship going on that went on before. Who else? Some of the other retail stores that are not really known for book selling, they're taking it. Sam's Club is known for that. They're taking a substantial number. And some of the others that turned their backs on us last time, they are as well. So this should be a pretty big book in the sense of the content. I don't know what big means anymore. I'm told the publishing industry is soft, book sales are soft. I believe that to be true. But my audience is different. My viewers and listeners are different. You're smart. You want to know what's going on, what you can do about it. You want to embrace it. And so I've got the price way down. Once the discounts kick in, the price will be even lower. I'm very excited about this. And yet this book, I have to admit, some of the pages you're going to have to hit. Mr. Producer, you hear me reading the audio, right? We're taping the audio this week. Some of it's pretty heavy, isn't it? But Mr. Producer loves it. You can open your mic because you're the guy who's recording it. We've gone through a third of it. We're going to do another third tonight and then another third over the weekend. But it flows, you said, and it is heavy, but on the other hand, it's understandable, yeah?
Correct.
Yeah. So I think people are going to like this book. It's very important. Look, I have other things to do. I don't have to write books. But I think it's very important, and I know you're going to like it. On Power. Kept it short and sweet. On Power. And the cover of the book is a very classic look, sort of the old-time books by, a Buckley or Goldwater or Friedman or something like that. I said, let's keep it very basic and classic. And that's what we've done. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Making sense of your world on the go. Stream your favorite shows, get the day's top headlines, and access our podcast archives, all with the new WMAL app.
This is for you.
Get the WMAL app on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected.
Spring is in full bloom on DraftKings Casino. New offers and promos are sprouting up daily. Right now, New players can play $5 on anything and get 350 casino spins instantly on a featured slot game. Download the app and use promo code DRAW. That's promo code DRAW. Take the featured slot for a spin and explore thousands of others in the DraftKings game library. Check back daily to claim the hottest offers and promos on DraftKings Casino. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 and over. Physically present in Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Connecticut and Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins valid for featured game only and expire in 168 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends June 22nd, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Keep up to date with the latest in pop culture, music, sports, and news with the Cumulus Podcast Network. You might just become smarter than the internet.
So hopefully you can see that this is not something so scary that you have to do alone.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Making sense of the media.
The news media is attacking him because this is what happens when you're a Republican.
Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon.
Yeah, our news media, really.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Bright Focus Foundation's Alzheimer's Disease Research Program is paving the way for a cure. Learn about symptoms, diagnosis, and breakthrough research at brightfocus.org or call us at 1-855-345-6237 for free resources.
My baby brother, a father. Come on, it's time for his nap. Whoa, he can't sleep on his stomach. Babies should always sleep on their backs in a safety-approved crib, and the sleep area should be clear of blankets, toys, and other loose or soft items. It reduces the risk of SIDS.
SIDS?
You know, sudden infant death syndrome.
Guess I need to start studying up on safe sleep for little man here. Being his favorite uncle comes with big responsibilities.
For more information, visit safetosleep.nichd.nih.gov. Sponsored by the Eunice Kennedy Shriver National Institute of Child Health and Human Development.
Probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Making sense of your world.
Talk radio is where I get all of my information.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news. Chris Plant, weekdays 9 to noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
We'll be putting out the audio everywhere for the first half hour of the program of Rachel Bate and Politico as special pleaders for Iran. I want these things to last, to be institutionalized, to be enshrined. You know, the written word or stuff on websites, that stuff lasts forever. The spoken word does not. So I'm taking the spoken word and I'm enshrining it. And so Rachel Bate will be forever known as the buffoon and the propagandist she is for the special pleaders for Iran. And that's that. And Politico as well. And we'll keep an eye out for other things. We'll keep doing this because it needs to be done. Because this is really a turning point, a crossroads, a red line for whether you really want to defend this country and love it, or you're going to keep defending Iran and pretend with your propaganda that you love the country. Tulsi Gabbard's coming under a lot of heat, not just from rhinos and so forth, but for her ridiculous, bizarre video warning of a nuclear war, except apparently when it comes to Iran. You know, you can't take the left wing out of the person. Maybe you can take the person out of the left wing or something to that effect. She is what she is. And I just hope that she's making sure that all the proper... Look, what Politico could do is a real story on how the isolationists, the sort of Bernie Sanders Republicans, the Bernie Sanders right, are trying to infiltrate all aspects of our foreign policy establishment. That's a real story. There's names, it's the Charles Kochheads. The Charles Kochheads, the Quincy Institute, and institutes like that, who have this isolationist attitude of the radical libertarians, and we've seen this before in American history. That's a real story, rather than fabricating a story about me because it's leaked to you by Chatsworth Osborne Jr. and the other reprobates. But Rachel Bade wasn't up to it. She's not capable of that. So it's going to take a real journalist, not a clown like her. But we'll have that audio ready at some point. We'll put it out on my social sites, and the word will be spread, and we will do what we do. This Independence Day, as we honor American grit and independence, Tax Network USA is helping you take back control of your financial future. Right now, they're offering 10% off all services through Independence Day. Now, if you missed the April 15th deadline or you're buried in back taxes, don't wait. IRS penalties keep adding up. That's on top of what you already owe. And they're unforgiving. They're unforgiving. You need Tax Network USA right now. They have an edge. They're better than the rest. A preferred direct line to the IRS. They know which agents to deal with, and they know which agents to avoid. Their attorneys and strategists and expert negotiators know how to cut through the IRS chaos and get you the best deal possible. Their aggressive, proven strategies help settle your debt fast, and as I say, in your favor. They've already helped Americans resolve over $1 billion in tax debt, and they can help you too. They're tested, and they're champions. Your consultation is free. There's no better time to get ahead of this and get your financial independence back, ladies and gentlemen. Call 800-985-1000, 800-985-1000, 800-985-1000, or visit TNUSA, that's taxnetworkusa.com/Levin, TNUSA.com/LEVIN. So this from the Jewish Insider. DNI Tulsi Gabbard draws friendly fire from Republicans for video warning of nuclear war. GOP Senator John Kennedy responding to her. She's obviously needs to change her meds. It's a disgusting video, I'll be honest with you. Of course, what happened was horrific, but she basically punched the finger at the United States military. You really need to check this video out. I have it on my social sites. The cryptic video, they write, the Director of National Intel Gabbard that she made really is unbelievable. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
Thank you for your clear insight.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
This is a major wake-up call.
Making sense of the news.
Every 15 seconds, someone is diagnosed with cancer. If it's happened to you or someone you love, the American Cancer Society can help at every step of the journey. Visit cancer.org today.
This is my new best friend, Esther. She might look like any normal, playful puppy, but Esther's being raised to become a canine companion for independence assistance dog for a person with a disability. To get there, she needs lots of loving care and attention, plenty of exercise, and good eating habits so that she can live a long and healthy life for her future family. Visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK. Raise a puppy, change a life. You can make a world of difference in the life of a person with a disability.
Here's a brief message from industry.
This ad is brought to you by GSK. We invite you to visit hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com to explore data and resources. That's hcp-myelofibrosis-treatment.com.
Thanks for listening to the message from industry.
The world needs ways to reduce carbon emissions.
We're working on solutions in our own operations.
Like carbon capture.
And clean energy from hydrogen.
So, who are we?
Believe it or not, ExxonMobil. And our solutions can help businesses in manufacturing,
commercial transportation,
and power generation too.
Heavy industry with low emissions. Let's deliver.
Learn more at exxonmobil.com.
Buying a new car might make you say things like,
I can't believe it.
Seriously, it's ours?
Is this real life?
Prove it.
Yeah, it's real life, all right.
but what you really need to say is something that can protect your new ride.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Yep, we're here to help you choose the coverage you need. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9.
This is a Fox News alert. A member of Congress charged over an incident at an immigration facility. I'm Lisa Lacera. New Jersey Democrat LaMonica McIver indicted on federal charges that she impeded and interfered with immigration officials outside a detention center in Newark last month while the city's mayor was being arrested after he tried to join a congressional oversight visit to the facility. Acting U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba, writing on X, while people are free to express their views for or against particular policies, they must not do so in a manner that endangers law enforcement and the communities those officers serve. In a statement, McIver's attorney said the legal process will expose this prosecution for what it truly is, political retaliation against a dedicated public servant who refuses to shy away from her oversight responsibilities. President Trump is back at the White House after a trip to Fort Bragg to mark 250 years of the U.S. Army. Speaking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews, he continued to defend the use of the National Guard and Marines in Los Angeles to stem protests against ICE raids, some of which were violent.
As long as we have the military there, the protests won't mean anything. Last night, if we weren't there, they would have burned down the city. But they did not a lot of damage other than they broke up a lot of concrete looking for weapons.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has asked a federal judge to limit the use of the National Guard and Marines. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass says they'll be talking about a curfew shortly, and her initial thinking is any curfew would not be all of downtown Los Angeles. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says a trade framework and implementation plan with China has been agreed to.
I think what happens is when you put President Xi and President Trump on the phone together, it changes the outcome.
It next heads to President Trump for his approval. America's listening to Fox News.
And to search for missing teen, I'm Sharon Reardon from the Novak Motors News Desk. Good evening. Divers with Fairfax County Police may have found the body of a missing Gainesville teenager.
Police divers recovered a human body from a small body of water near West Park Drive and Galleria Drive in Tysons. They're looking into the possibility that it could be that of 19-year-old Kyle Coleman, who disappeared after his car crashed into the woods in Tysons early last Saturday morning. Police found his empty vehicle still running. They didn't find any blood in it, but they did find something troubling: his phone. Coleman had gone out with friends after finishing his first semester at Morehouse College. Heather Curtis on WMAL and WMAL.com.
As clashes continue in LA between police and some anti-ICE protesters, President Trump says if protests turn violent during the Army's 250th birthday parade in D.C. on Saturday.
And for those people that want to protest, they're going to be met with very big force. And I haven't even heard about a protest. But, you know, this is people that hate our country.
Park Police Chief Jessica Taylor says the National Park Service has several permits pending for protests on Saturday, but they're not worried. Unarmed soldiers with the National Guard will be working the event. And speaking of Saturday's event, there's a lot to prepare for.
You can expect to see and hear a lot of aircraft coming into the area over the next 5 days, including some of these CH-47 Chinook helicopters coming in to support the military district of Washington. So many that Fort McNair has put out a noise advisory for the rest of the week as these planes and copters arrive in the D.C. airspace. On Saturday, there will be several performances from aircraft including Black Hawk and Apache helicopters and other flyover opportunities, including a parachute demonstration by the Golden Knights ahead of the fireworks finale. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
WMAL News Time is 8:04. I'm Sharon Reardon, and now here's your WMAL traffic and weather from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
395 northbound in Arlington, jammed up between 110 and the Southwest Freeway. It's in D.C. Onto the Beltway Inner Loop in Tysons. jammed up between Leesburg Pike and the Claire Barton Parkway. Now, on the outer loop of the Beltway in Alexandria, that's slow from Telegraph Road to the Wilson Bridge. Southbound 95 in Newington, jammed up between the Fairfax County Parkway and 123. And in Prince George's County on the BW Parkway northbound, traffic is stop and go in Greenbelt between the Beltway and Powder Mill Road. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 67. Tomorrow, sunny with a high around 86.
Tired of that awkward break dealing with pills or painful injections when it's getting hot and heavy? Instead, always be ready. The RegeneGrow program at Dallas Men's Health is for men across the country who are looking for that next level of sexual satisfaction. Our clinically proven innovative RegeneGrow procedures are the safest and most effective ED treatments available.
Since my partner started working with Dr. Worsham, our sex life is so much hotter. Every guy should visit Dallas Men's Health. It's a game changer.
Start to revitalize and upgrade your sex life. Visit DallasMen'sHealth.com.
Pay rent with Built to earn flexible, transferable points and unlock exclusive benefits. There's no cost to join, and just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock two powerful benefits. First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent now works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your city. Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary post-workout shakes, free mats or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent can literally take you places. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? Start paying rent through Built and take advantage of your neighborhood benefits by going to joinbuilt.com/WWO. That's JOINBILT.com/WWO. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/WWO to sign up for Built today.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Mark Levin.
Contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. You know what I've been thinking about it? Let me help you a little bit. People are scratching their heads, including on TV, and they're now beginning to repeat each other. The Democrats are sealing their fate. Why would they do this? We've already been here. We've already done that. And they've been kind of playing with this with you a little bit. Why do you think they would do it? Why do you think they would do it? The Democrats want to win the next election. But what they really want to win is permanent power, permanent control. That's the reason the border's open. That's the reason they oppose deportations. That's the reason they're trashing ICE. That's the reason they're doing everything they do, if you think about this. They don't care if there's waste, fraud, and abuse. They've created so many of these Potemkin programs and grants and contracts and all the rest of it. As long as enough of it gets to their buddies and gets to their programs and helps build a constituency for them, they don't care if they get $1 worth out of $100. It's not their money. It's not their money. Now, I'm saying that we, you and I, and these commentators, many of our friends on Fox and Talk Radio, we think like normal people. That is, people who play by the rules. People who expect others to play by the rules. And that includes not committing violent criminal acts and so forth and so on. The Democrats don't think that way. The Democrat Party is a nomenclature. What is the Democrat Party? It's an organization. An organization of what? It's an organization that has as its primary objective power. The Marxists have as their primary objective power. The Islamists have as their primary objective power. You and I We believe in a constitutional system where power is divided, it's dispersed, it's checked, it's balanced. So power, yes, but power checked by power. You cannot have liberty without the proper kind of power. You cannot have rights without the proper kind of power. You look at Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is a Stalinist. He went to a Stalinist kibbutz as a young man in Israel. Not just a communist kibbutz, he sought out a Stalinist kibbutz. Like Noam Chomsky, they went to the same kibbutz. They're not about democratic rule. They're about rule. And this is discussed at great length in this book. And not just them. They're just foils. There's other individuals, and I'm not really focused on individuals. I'm focused on events and things that are happening and things that can happen if things aren't set up properly. So when you see the riots in the streets and you see not just the Marxist Islamist Democrats in Congress and in the media, but people like Gavin Newsom, who's just a really stupid, goofy, incompetent, left of center Democrat. They do what they do to defend their new constituency, their future voters, their children, and the birthright citizenship. Because in a relatively free society and in a democracy, and I know we're a republic, I don't want to get into that right now. I'm using democracy sort of as a generic term, okay? And in a democracy, the best way to become a one-party country and the best way to hold on to that power is not through the ballot box. It's not by honoring the Constitution and all of its checks and authorities and all the rest of it. It's not through law enforcement when you have these sort of mini revolutions going on in one city or another, or one state in another, virtually now every summertime, but even more than that on our college campuses. This is what they've wrought. This isn't an accident. This is reality. And I come behind this microphone and I explain all the foreign money that's coming into this country from Qatar, from Iran, from Hamas, from the Communist Chinese. That's not an accident. Remember that communist phrase, the ends justify the means. They'll take money from anywhere. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there's bloat. It doesn't matter that USAID funded terrorists, among others. Excuse me, it doesn't matter. What matters is you have an infrastructure, an institution that needs to stay in place, that needs to get as much money as possible, as much authority as possible. Why? Because in the end, you're not going to be ruling yourself. To the extent that there's voting, it doesn't matter. You have a permanent fourth branch of government that doesn't exist in the Constitution. You have judges who don't follow the law. They abuse the law to advance their personal policy objectives, that is, the left-wing objectives, where our judges sit there and they're trying to figure out, what does the Constitution require? What does the Constitution say? What did the framers mean? The other guys hate the Constitution, and they push their agenda through legalese and then wrap it in the Constitution. There's a big difference. Revolution by immigration. I was giving you a hint over the last 6 months. That's what you see here. The leaders of the most vile, violent Islamist movements in the Middle East have talked about revolution by immigration. They talk about conquering France, which they've done. They talk about conquering England, which they're in the middle of. They talk about conquering the United States with immigration. So you have the American Marxists in America, that is, the leadership of the Democrat Party. You have the Islamists. So the Marxists open the border, and the Islamists come in. And so on our college campuses, you have a fusion of the Marxists and the Islamists. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't fanciful. This isn't a conspiracy theory. You're living it. You're seeing it. That's why I want you to get the book on power, because, look, do I want to sell as many as I can? Yes. But why do I want to sell as many as I can? My wife's not here right now. I'd bring her in and put her behind the microphone to speak briefly, but she knows why I write these books. I bounce things off her. I explain what I'm doing. I'm explaining why I'm doing them and so forth. I'm not sitting here counting shekels. I'm sitting here trying to count what we can do. I'm the one that told the publisher to cut the price. I'm the one telling you to order the book early so you get the best discount possible from Amazon.com. It's what it is. It's called capitalism, but there are ways to get the values down, the prices down, which is what I've tried to do, to get this in as many hands as humanly possible. I've never read an entire book for an audio series. Now you'll be able to get an audio or the hardcover, because that's what I'm doing now. Why? Because of our time. We have Donald Trump, thank God. But we won't always have Donald Trump. And if they win the House, all bets are off on what they're going to do. You need to be armed with ideas and arguments and so forth. Why? Because that wins the day. It's not esoteric. It's not elitism. It wins the day. I hope this makes sense. We'll be right back.
Mud Lovin'. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
Pay rent with Built to earn flexible, transferable points and unlock exclusive benefits. There's no cost to join, and just by paying rent, you unlock flexible points that can be transferred to your favorite hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. When you pay rent through Built, you unlock two powerful benefits. First, you earn one of the industry's most valuable points on rent every month. No matter where you live or who your landlord is, your rent now works for you. Second, you gain access to exclusive neighborhood benefits in your city. Built's neighborhood benefits are things like extra points on dining out, complimentary workout shakes, free mats or towels at your favorite fitness studios, and unique experiences that only Built members can access. And when you're ready to travel, Built points can be converted to your favorite miles and hotel points around the world, meaning your rent can literally take you places. So if you're not earning points on rent, my question is, what are you waiting for? Start paying rent through Built and take advantage of your neighborhood benefits.
I'm going to address Vegas chat. Anybody thinks they're fucking brave enough to come up here like you, Rusty? You don't run shit, Rusty. We spent the last 6 years listening to Wiggins say he runs shit. You don't run shit. Gotti's blocking me. I'm calling you out, Gotti. Now you're a fucking punk. Tonight you're a punk, Gotti. Bring your fucking ass up here because I'm going to yell at you. I got something I'm going to say to you, Gotti. Come on in my chat. I dare you. I'm right in the right mood right now. You know, usually I'm not really one to get mad. Speak my mind. You're an idiot, JC. Acid trip. I looked into your chat. You keep playing that over and over. Somebody's toilet overflowed. You're stuck. No, Rusty, you are trapped, Rusty. You make it. You got channels on people. All you do is spend your time in chat all day, every day, arguing with several people. That's it. Makes you no better than Lady Venom. She's not as bad. She made some videos or whatever, but you know, Gotti is dishonest of you. Rusty doesn't run this place. And whatever's going on in Vegas chat, who gives a fuck?
Creating your own business is everything. Getting it registered and compliance, not so much. LegalZoom has everything.
She runs shit. So what? You run Vegas chat?
LegalZoom has already helped launch, run, and protect millions of businesses. LegalZoom.
Ginger's in the chat, gonna straighten out DA. You guys, little fucking group there, little fucking clique, you and Logical and all them. I'm gonna stick my neck out.
Making sense of the news.
You know, Marie Lubapina, I don't think Rocky Goldman is subscribing to what you're doing. I think he has a problem with Logical, and it's time for Logical to come clean. We're not the ones who are not getting along. You guys are taking this seriously. How about you, Wiggin? Dougie called me, let me know he was home all right. He says he doesn't really have a problem with you. That's Dougie. I don't tell people what to do. You do.
To defend yourself and loved ones without the many complexities of a homicide. Made in America with over 80% of
You don't run shit here, Rusty. You have no power. And when your people come in here next time, if they do, all right, more than likely, I might not let Gotti up on my panel. I got something to tell you, Gotti. I ain't gonna put up with you guys horse shit. Logico's just a mealy-mouthed little motherfucker, and he hides behind you guys. That's all there is to it. He's a punk motherfucker. He's lucky I don't live 2 blocks from him. I would pay him a visit. If I can knock his teeth right down his throat. Thinks he's a tough little guy. Fucking Logical. What is he? 5'6" and 150 pounds? Motherfucker burn his feet trying to make dabs.
I didn't oppose her.
Fucking face all deformed.
Support her when she was nominated.
Way he runs his mouth. I've heard him. He's got a squeaky voice.
But I do think that when they're out there cutting their own videos and saying their own things, they should do their very best not to embarrass the administration. Even more, not to embarrass the country. This is where I draw the line. You don't defend our military. You don't defend the service of the men who died fighting Imperial Japan. I take it very personally. My grandfather fought at Iwo Jima in Guam, and my great-uncle fought at Guadalcanal. And my grandfather told me a lot of things about the Japanese and how they fought and what they did to our soldiers. Maybe she's not familiar with the Battle of Okinawa, which was one of the costliest and bloodiest in the war, and I believe the costliest and bloodiest of the Pacific campaign. And so Harry Truman concluded that we can't invade the island nation of Japan. We'll lose 500,000 to 1 million men. And you would think the fifth column isolationists would understand this because they don't believe in forever wars, correct? Now, they offered the Japanese a full unconditional surrender, and the emperor said no. So they hit Hiroshima, and they prayed to God that that atomic bomb would work. And then they had one more, and only one more, that was configured somewhat differently, and they dropped it on Nagasaki. And then the Japanese surrendered. But I want you to think about this. It took 2 atomic bombs to defeat the Japanese. They were not going to surrender. That's what Truman meant when he said we lose, he was told, 500,000 to 1 million men. Because we had fought all up and down those Pacific Islands. We lost a lot of men in horrendous ways. So you just have to ask yourself, how can somebody put out a 3 or 4 minute video and leave out completely all the context? And remember, they attacked us in Pearl Harbor, in Hawaii, which I believe she represented, or at least a district in Hawaii. But why do I have to argue with her? Why do we have to debate her? I feel like I'm arguing with Bernie Sanders or Barack Obama or something like that, Mr. Producer. I really do. I'm not trying to be controversial. She put out the video. There's a lot of people, not just me, who are questioning this, but I'm questioning it because I take it very personally. And you can't say you defend the military and you defend America and all when you keep crapping all over it, like Iran. It's not me, it's not others who think like me, patriotic, red-blooded Americans, conservatives, who didn't have to actually transition to conservatism, have always been. We're not the problems when it comes to Iran. Iran's the problem when it comes to Iran. That's the problem, Iran. They're the warmongers. And when you have people, the isolationists, who keep saying the things that they say, leaking the things that they leak, publishing the things that they publish, the enemy sees it. Whether the enemy is Germany or Japan or Italy, or whether the enemy is Iran, they see it. And they see a weak underbelly. A weak underbelly that's giving them aid and comfort. And making it 1,000 times more difficult for the President of the United States to bring this to the kind of conclusion he wants to bring it to. Not me, or people like me, them. They're emboldening the enemy. They're emboldening Iran. They're emboldening Putin. When you go over there and kiss his ass. And it's about time patriots speak out and stop being so cowardly. Stop being so cowardly. There's millions of you, but I'm not even talking about you. There are people who run think tanks. There are people who are in the Senate, they're in the House. There are people all over the place. Shh, don't say anything. Don't offend these people. Offend them. Speak out. The American people stand with us. Pro-American, red-blooded Americans. Now they're questioning World War II. The defeat of Japan 6 months ago. They were telling us how Chamberlain was really a good guy, and Churchill helped cause World War II to become what it became. So Churchill's the bad guy. Chamberlain's the good guy. We shouldn't have dropped the bombs on Japan. America, wake up. You got the Charles Koch and George Soros Quincy Institute that are producing these mind-numb robots, as Rush would call them. These ideologues. Assembly line ideologues. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And yes, in my view, they are undermining the president. That's why they attack me. Oh, look at this. He's lobbying. He's leading a whole group of hawks. I'm not leading a group of anything, and I'm not lobbying. They're desperate. They're desperate because their Iranian friends are not buckling, apparently. Their Iranian friends apparently don't want to sign a deal. I didn't say that. The president said it yesterday publicly, that they're getting more difficult, not easier to deal with. And I blame in part Chatsworth and his crowd.
Hey, Tucker Carlson.
They're all going to have to answer for this one day. And same with the politicians who get behind them. Because Republican primaries for president brings all this stuff out. And I will do my best to do it right behind this microphone as well. Everything's not black and white. You're either for war or against war. You see an enemy and you're trying to figure out what to deal with, how to deal with it. Let me ask you, let me put it this way. America, let me ask you this. If Imperial Japan kept saying, we're going to attack the United States, we're going to attack the United States, or let me do it differently. That they want to wipe the United States off the face of the map. And we had people in this country back then who kept making excuses for Japan and kept attacking the people who keep recognizing what the enemy is saying. What would you think of those people? What would you think of those people? You'd think they're nuts or worse. Giving aid and comfort to Japan. Well, giving aid and comfort to Iran, is that any better? But they want a nuclear weapon. Tulsi Gabbard says, look at what this nuclear weapon did. It's unbelievable. It's horrendous. Yes, it is. Which is why some of us are saying Iran must be stopped. If you can negotiate it, great. If you can't, it still has to be stopped. I'll be right back. Pure Talk My Wireless Company, a veteran-led company, believes every man and woman who has faithfully served this country deserves to proudly fly an American flag that was made in America. That's why Pure Talk is on a mission to give an allegiance flag, the highest quality American flag ever, to 1,000 U.S. veterans in time for the patriotic holidays. Switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk today. Know that you're supporting a company that will
Fucking loud.
these high-quality flags made in America to deserving veterans. With plans from just $25 a month for unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, you can enjoy America's most dependable 5G network while cutting your cell phone bill, in many cases, in half. The average Pure Talk family saves over $1,000 a year. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Mark Levin, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will get you switched hassle-free in as little as 10 minutes. Again, dial pound 250 and say Mark Levin to switch to a wireless company that supports our veterans. Switch to Pure Talk.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like with just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion at checkout. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Got cardboard boxes piling up from online shopping? Flatten them and toss them into your recycling bin. Junk mail, glass bottles, and aluminum cans? Those too, as well as the But your grease-stained pizza boxes and styrofoam containers? Nope. Into the trash they go. Recycle right to keep the North Country beautiful. Learn what you can and can't.
Last call. I'm leaving.
Lewis, and Jefferson County at northcountryrecycles.org. That's North Country Recycles.
Might go lay down for a while and come back later.
The world needs
Anybody want to come up though? You're welcome to come up.
We're working on solutions in our own operations.
Like carbon capture and clean energy from hydrogen.
So, who are we?
Believe it or not, ExxonMobil. And our solutions can help businesses in manufacturing, commercial transportation,
And power generation too.
heavy industry.
Probably a good thing I do something on a Tuesday morning instead of sitting here all morning long. I could.
Completely unacceptable. High inflation rates are actually preventing people from retiring. This is exactly why thousands are turning to Goldco, the top-rated gold company, to diversify their savings with time-tested safe haven assets, physical gold and silver. Goldco is offering a free gold and silver kit, but on qualified purchases, they'll give you up to a 10% instant match in bonus silver. That's right, a 10% match in bonus silver. Don't wait any longer. Call 855-GOLD-IRA. That's 855-GOLD-IRA.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers, and sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection with sending bank details.
Oh, poor Logical. That poor fucking guy.
Endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
New Jersey's got a lot of summer wow. We got your under the sun wows. Your this is too much fun wows. Your that wine was sublime wows. And your one more time wows. So come see what your wow's gonna be. New Jersey, it's one summer wow after another. Find your wow with the
Fucking bunch of Fruit Loops.
little state, lot of wow.
The fear of injections.
When your mouth is dry, you know you're high.
But that's just old news about other medicines. The good news is today's Hep C treatments are different. They're not injections.
I need more water.
And don't have the harsh side effects of previous medicines. So don't be afraid to talk to a healthcare provider about getting your Hep C cured. To learn more, visit treathepcnow.com. Got cardboard boxes piling up from online shopping? Flatten them and toss them into your recycling bin. Junk mail, glass bottles, and aluminum cans? Those too, as long as they're clean. But your grease-stained pizza boxes and styrofoam containers? Nope. Into the trash they go. Recycle right to keep the
Log liquor.
Learn what you can and can't recycle in St. Lawrence, Lewis, and Jefferson County at northcountryrecycles.org. That's northcountrycycles.com.
Hilarious.
Making sense of your world.
I don't know where to begin.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Thanks for taking my call.
Making sense of the news. WMAL's Vince Colonnades. Weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
Ay, fucker. Oh.
Nobody says it better than Mark Levin.
I'll go with what Mark Levin said, because nobody can say it better.
Call in now at 877-381-3811.
You know, this media, aka Mediocre, founded and owned by Dan Abrams. He pretends to be a real lawyer. He's the Jerry Springer of cable. And this site is really kind of grotesque. And so they're really in
Alpesh is still showing the fucking.
an insurrectionist mode.
You get your water cleaned up in your apartment. The toilet above him fucking overflowed or something's going on.
Files for restraining order to block Hegseth, DOD, from sending in troops. Of course, this is all a joke. It's really legal malpractice by Sarah Rumpf. Trump calls the second largest city in the country he governs a trash heap. Michael Lucky Luciano. You're grabbing me, cop accosts CNN crew Charlie Nash. Look at them. Trump goads troops at Fort Bragg into booing the media. Ahmad Austin Jr. Almost all of these are left-wing reprobates. ABC News axes Terry Moran over deleted tweet bashing Stephen Miller. That's a good one, Sarah Rump. So this guy's out on his ass. He'll be joining Jim Acosta, probably doing a road show, bringing the clowns. Fox airs evidence from Trump in battle against Newsom, ends up helping Newsom. Maggie Haberman. I don't know why anybody cares what this New York Times reprobate has to say. Trump too old, but allies will try to help him stay in power.
Screen freezing.
What?
Jittering.
Tommy Christopher, another left-wing goon. Trump said in 2020 he wouldn't use National Guard unless requested by a governor. Ahmad Austin Jr. Well then, indict him. People never change their minds, do they? Pentagon official estimates Trump will spend $134 million to deploy troops to L.A. Ahmad Austin Jr., obviously a lefty. Well, Ahmad, you got to spend what you got to spend, right, to put down the criminals? No. CNN's Harry Enton marvels at Trump and GOP's improved polling with immigrants. George Clooney's good night and good luck scores big ratings for CNN. MTG widely argues overly condemning anti-Semitism.
George Clooney.
She's a real head case. She's a real nut job. Two of them voted against the anti-Semitism resolution, her and Tlaib. And basically she said, we should be passing resolutions because all white people, are treated badly and wrongly and so forth and so on. But what does that have to do with this resolution? You actually have people hunting down Jews. That's all right. I'm not dealing with a mental midget. Trump slaps animals at LA protests, claims they're paid insurrectionists, says Ahmad Austin Jr. I think he's a newbie lefty there. Trump's DHS secretary accuses Mexico's president of inciting LA protests. You get the drift, right? Congresswoman rips Hegseth during heated House hearing. What is your plan? Maggie Haberman, they love their Maggie Haberman, mocks Trump medical report. Read like Trump had written it. Trump threatens very big force to put down any protests at his military parade. But why shouldn't he? And it goes on. It's a real sleazeball site. Really, Media Matters ought to sue them for plagiarism, I think. George Soros might as well have created this thing too. But there's Danny Abrams with his wig and all, plastered to his head. But at least they didn't mention Hitler in any of the headlines here. Did you see Hitler in any headlines here, Mr. Producer? I haven't seen Hitler in there. Okay. They're getting a little better. Over at the sludge report, oh my God.
Flood report.
What a sleaze operation that's become. Sleaze operation. In some ways, these sites, and I think are stoking violence. They're making excuses for those who are violent. Go over to Drudge, take a look. They're trashing the use of the military and even ICE. They come to the defense of Newscomb and Bass and old Castro. The media accept no role in how they inflame these riots and help create these problems. No role whatsoever. They make excuses like this Donna Bash, a.k.a. Dana Bash, over at the Constipated News Network. Well, like, that's not really a riot. She tells Senator Mullins, not really a riot. No. Just a part of the city. How stupid is she? How stupid is she? Very, very, and that's one of the requirements for working at CNN. I'm certain of it. Our media. It's not mine. Let's take a couple calls, shall we? Michael, Dayton, Ohio, XM satellite. Michael, go right ahead, please.
I heard a ding. Must be him.
First time caller. Love your show.
Thank you, sir.
I had 3 quick comments. First, a movie called Kandahar. It's about Iran's nuclear program. He stopped it. And second, I was listening to the Eric Erickson show today, and he said Iran tested Saturday. It was proven by a nuclear watch program that they said that they have enriched. And 3,
they tested what an explosion would be like, I believe, is what they did. But look, you read all these reports, you have to be Helen Keller not to see and hear what's going on here, and you really have to be a very dangerous denialist. And even the Iranians, in their own way, they've confessed to what they're doing. And these people who are lying about it, like a Politico and other places, I mean, they are endangering this country like nobody else.
By Dr. Francis Miles called Why God Hates Open Borders. You can see video clips of it on YouTube. That was all I had to say.
All right, Michael. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Yes. Let's keep going, shall we? Ryan, San Diego, California, on the Mark Levin app. How are you, Ryan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you doing, sir?
All right, brother. Thank you.
You said so much that I wanted to say already, but one thing I did want to comment on a little bit, change a little bit, it was about Tulsi Gabbard. The fact you mentioned what you mentioned about Japan and their perception, the perspective of Japan and what happened. I mean, have they forgotten they did the Bataan Death March? They forgot what they did to all of Asia, what they did to POWs. They're just as bad or worse than the Germans. Yet in Hawaii, because I lived over there for a while, and the mentality is the only people that are bad on the planet, Mark, are Howleys. You know that, right?
No,
nobody else never did anything bad but us. We're the only guys that ever did anything bad. You know, so that's why they have that mentality where they give them a pass. My brother-in-law, who's from Germany, he was never taught about World War II when he was in high school. Did you know that? They don't teach you to go in schools over there?
Over where? Hawaii or Germany?
In Germany. They don't teach it. They just omit it as if it never happened. I'm sure they did the same thing in Japan. So the thing is, you're such a historical expert. I love listening.
You'll never win here, Patrick.
I had a couple comments. Next time I call, I'm going to talk to you about.
There's nothing here for you, Patrick.
Jewish Persian barely escaped with the Shah.
All right.
He was taken down by the.
You ain't giving nobody 5-knuckle shuffle or anything. You ain't cutting no Achilles tendon. You ain't doing shit, Patrick.
Appreciate it. What's that, Rick? Let me slip in one.
Except make a fool of yourself.
Let's go to Dave.
That's all you're doing,
Dave
Patrick.
in Surprise, Arizona, KKNT. Dave, how are you?
Full of righteous indignation, just like you, sir. Appreciate it.
You got it.
So looking at the LA riots, I predicted this on Gorka's show 7 months ago, that the country would burn like 2020. But I think it's actually good for the rest of the country to see it because it's the third leg of the stool of discernment that we need to see. The lie that was COVID-19, the stolen election, and then the riots.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother. And Gorka's great. He's great. I'm glad he's over at the NSC and they haven't whacked him yet. It's a good man. Thank you for your call, my friend. Is now a good time to buy a home? The answer is absolutely yes. You know, we're in a buyer's market. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, you need to call my friends at American Financing right now, today. The first step to getting a home is getting the right loan, and they can pre-approve you in 24 hours or less. There are more houses on the market today than there have been in the past 5 years. Interest rates are competitive, and home prices have been stable. That means you can find a great deal while locking in a monthly payment that fits your budget. In other words, now's the time to move. Act. Plus, with home equity building over time, your investment grows, making home ownership a smart, long-term financial decision, no question about it. Now, if you continue to pay rent, you're just paying your landlord's mortgage, and you don't need 20% down either. You could be in your new home with as little as 3% down. Plus, there are down payment assistance programs to make home ownership even easier. American Financing is familiar
Making a lot of noise out there.
Opportunities and values that they can offer to you and show you how to go through it. So don't wait any longer. Call our friends at American Financing, a family-owned business started 25 years ago, has all the top ratings. I use them. My daughter used them. Mr. Producer used them. Here's their number. Call while it's front of mind. 888-900-1828, 888-900-1828, 888-900-1828, or visit AmericanFinancing.net.
NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Switching to Shopify helps you sell smarter at every stage of your business. Take full control of your brand with your own custom online store.
Wow, looks amazing.
Find more customers with our easy-to-use marketing tools.
Oh, getting tired.
And let the
I'm going to go lay down pretty soon. Take a break.
Grow with Shopify. Switch to Shopify today for a $1 a month trial at shopify.com/Pandora. Shopify.com/Pandora.
Making a big purchase should come with confidence, not confusion. Car Gurus helps you cut through the noise, because when it comes to your big deal, you deserve the best deal. It's no wonder similar web estimated traffic data shows Car Gurus is the #1.
Yeah, I was there when they shut Vegas down. Then they came back. They sat there for 9 months. Nobody even went there.
CarGurus.com to make sure your big deal is the
Hardly.
best deal. That's CarGurus.
Dirty laundry. Who the fuck is this guy? And then I found out who it was. Chris fucking. Wow, feline fee. What the fuck is the matter with you, lady? There's a fucked up person right there. Where are you, Zoofless? You said Trump's going to jail. And the fucker's not in jail. He's your president. How you feel about that? Zoofless, how you feel about all of us putting Trump in office? All the blacks in Harlem voted for him. I can tell you that. He owns New York City.
Think about it. Playing catch, watering the lawn,
Oh, my joint went
waving to
out.
your neighbor from the porch, all designed to keep one hand free for the ultimate summer activity. Enjoying a good humor frozen treat. Whether you go for the crumb coating of strawberry shortcake,
I'm a man every day.
refreshing creamsicle bar.
I don't look at myself and think I want to be a female. Wiggin. I see the trash in you. Yeah.
Welcome to paradise. With the platinum card, unlock over $1,500 back in
Gotti didn't want to hear the favor I had to ask of him.
Now let's make our trip
Yeah.
next level.
I didn't get to ask you the favor I want, Gotti.
Unforgettable experiences.
You're going to like it.
Endless vibes. Late hotel checkout? Yes, please.
That's if you dare come up here tonight.
Less than iconic. Learn more
I won't
at
bring it up again.
americanexpress.com/explore-platinum.
I got something I want to ask you.
Americans are still recovering from the record inflation of the last 4 years. Now, some in Congress want to make cuts to Medicaid, a program that provides critical health care to 72 million struggling Americans, including...
My mother looks like Orville Redenbacher. What does your mother look like? Gotti.
40% of American births are covered by
Rusty doesn't run shit. She doesn't run this chat. She tried.
Working families rely on this program. It has 77% support. Nearly 9 in 10
That's something you have to ask Dougie. I'll let him speak for himself. I'm not. You seen it. You watched it. There fucking 900 views on it. So everybody that does this is watching. A few others. My friends and family were in here for a little bit.
Tell Congress not to cut Medicaid. Our health and our communities depend on it. Paid for by the Coalition to Strengthen America's Healthcare.
My nephew has a ranch, only so if he does come in the chat, you fuckers can't block him. You're fucked.
Making sense of the news. WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern.
I think he was happy.
How do I do this without causing problems? Well, let me do it this way.
No, why do you guys do that? Don't pretend. Don't. Oh, you think. You don't know what the fuck I think. That's what you guys do. How the fuck do you know what I think? Unless I tell you.
Should I say any more? No.
Yeah.
June 24th. You're gonna want to listen.
I should just fucking time you out.
The first hour. Should I say especially if you're on the West Coast or not? No, I better not. No, you better cover that up. All right.
See what's left.
Folks, we're seeing something truly disturbing. Anti-Semitism is on the rise around the world and sadly right here in America. Jewish schools being targeted with little kids.
No, I don't.
2, 3, 4 years old.
No, I don't. That's
Synagogues
you. Stop projecting yourself on me.
with graffiti, with swastikas. Human beings burned in the street alive. The smell of flesh.
Yeah, maybe
It's
that'll
something we
help
hope we never see again. There is that phrase, never again. Never again means now. And let me say this, silence is not an option. This is the moment to take a stand. You know, Laura Loomer, think of her what you will, made a very important statement that I agree with and my dear pastor, John Hagee, agrees with. When you attack Judaism and Jews, you're also attacking Christianity and Christians. Without Judaism, there would be no Christianity. And without Christianity, I strongly believe that we Jews, well, we'd be in a much more difficult situation than we are today, that's for sure. We need each other. People who understand the Holy Land, Israel, they understand that that's the birthplace of both religions. And those of you who haven't gone there, I recommend that you do. And you will see. You will see unbelievable things that are 4,000 years old. As our buddy Charlie Kirk has said, the Bible comes alive. It comes alive.
Why does that do that?
It's not a myth. It's reality. That's why I want to tell you about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, or IFCJ. They're on the front lines, providing real help where it's needed most. They're giving food and shelter to Jewish families under threat, building bomb shelters for children, helping survivors of hate rebuild their lives. And they don't just respond to crises, they work every day to help prevent them. I really want you to check this organization out. It's a fantastic organization. To learn more about the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews and their life-saving work in Israel and around the world, please go to levinforthefellowship.org. That's L-E-V-I-N for the fellowship.org.
Let me turn that down.
For the fellowship.
I'm sitting here doing something.
And thank you. And in advance, I want to say God bless you. Just check them out.
He's almost over with it.
Let's go to Sandra, Gutenberg, New Jersey.
Another phone call.
Sandra, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. Thank you for taking my call. You know, I wanted to say two things. One, I care about the Jewish people like you and like all of us, and it's very sad and frightening what's happening. And I just read today that the Holocaust Museum in Washington is actually under attack. What they want to do, Mark, is they want to minimize its importance by putting other clauses in there, like putting, like going to a store. This is one area to consider. This is the same thing. That museum should be strictly for the Holocaust. And then I want to.
Well, yes, and you should call Sid Rosenberg tomorrow morning on WABC. He'll fight like hell over
I need
there.
a drink.
I think he's on the board now, or he's going to be, and deservedly so. He's a fantastic man and a dear friend. So if he's not listening, pass that on to him. Give him a call tomorrow. I'm sure he'll look into that.
Okay, and then can I tell you one other thing that I did?
Sure.
Okay, I had an incident in my building. A resident, a very lovely man, who was very misinformed about the Jewish people, and I didn't know how to handle this because he's a friend in the building. And I have this book that Alan Dershowitz authored. It's called The 10 Big Anti-Israel Lies and How to Refute Them with Truth. So I read it and I had answers for him, but I'm going to let him read this book because that's another thing that I wanted to say. You know, we have to learn how to give answers to these things that they say to us.
Well, that's true, but we're dealing with people who hate America and hate our guts. And first of all, Alan writes the best books, and that is a fantastic book. But we're talking now about the importation. And you're right about your situation, but I'm talking about the importation of Islamists who come here and don't give a damn what books they read or don't give a damn about anything else. They bring their ideology, they bring their indoctrination, and that is a problem. But I do agree with you with other people. That's a good idea. All right, Sandra, thank you for your call. Let's keep moving. John, San Diego, California, XM Satellite. How are you, sir?
Hey, Mark. Does anyone in the government even care that the due process clause is not predicated on the person or the crime? It's predicated on the punishment. It's life, liberty, or property. It means you can't be executed, imprisoned, or fined without due process. You can damn well be deported, and that's why every other president deported millions of illegal aliens without due process.
It's an interesting point. I hadn't thought about it. But I do know this. Whatever due process they're now claiming belonged to so many of these people, it certainly would have.
Stick around, Pat. I got something I want to show you.
People. So something has changed, and I think it's the courts, the activists in the courts. Thank you for your call, my friend. I appreciate it.
Take me a minute
we're out of time.
Locate it.
Holy moly. This show went fast. Ladies and gentlemen, we salute our armed forces, police officers, firefighters, emergency personnel, our truckers, the men and women in Ukraine, the men and women in it.
Now I gotta find what I'm looking for. That's not what I wanted to show you, Patrick. It's something specific. I'll get to it in a minute. You're still here, right, Patrick, New York? And I got something I want to show you. That's not it. That's not it. I found it, Patrick. You still here, Patrick? I found it. Let me turn that big light off. You get a good read on that? You get a good read on that? That's Wheaton Shaw posting that in a person's chat. Dickhead. No, he's not. He's a fucking Fruit Loop. He's a lazy fuck. E-beggar. Goes after Mary Bernie because is he gay? I don't know what his fucking problem is, but that fucker is out there. Not long ago on his own stream, he was drinking straight out of a fucking Hershey syrups fucking bottle. Dickhead. He's a fucking punk. He's a lazy fucker. He's a burden on society. He's the rock gut in our culture today. Learning to be like that and behaving like that. Wonder if his mother knows that what he does with Mary Bernie, insults her all the time and everything. I know, I was watching. I've been keeping my eye on that fucker. Yeah, JC protects those fuckers. It's been going on forever. Then tonight, look what she was doing with Colin. Yeah. Acid trip. Looks like he's fucking has a footing problem in his chat. That's fucked up. That is fucked up right there. Duh. I can hear Angie. Billy, everybody has their opinion. That's been on my mind ever since I see him do that. He would never come up here. There he is. I speak of the fucker. There he is. JC chastising you again tonight. Not even sure what you're saying, Colin. Let's see. It's 9 o'clock here. You're 5 hours ahead of me. You're a lush. You're slosh like a motherfucker. JC was making fun of your height and your fucking weight tonight. Just think all the times you defended her against me. I know, I was there. I was watching it. I watched it. I watched what you did with Wheat and Shaw. Yeah, it's sickening. It is. I leave the fucking chat and she begs me to come back and they all fucking troll me. All her fucking Coffee Man and Randy, you know, Logical out there doing his fucking shit. Gotti trying to edge his fucking way into the wood. Gotti, you owe me a favor. Yeah, I want it. Gotti, I hope you fucking come up here. I know you're out there. You're everywhere. I don't want to hear, I was busy. I was praising Logical. You owe me a favor, fucker. Get your fucking Italian ass up here, you stupid wop. Yeah, and God made Italians. He took a pile of shit in one hand, a pile of shit in the other hand, went just like that. That's all why they all had to come over here back in the 1800s. Couldn't fucking stand it over there. So why is Acid Drip's fucking apartment flooded? He's afraid he's gonna get electrocuted. He just keeps playing it over. It just loops over and over and over and over. There's no, nice sunset, isn't it? Yeah, sunset's right there. For me. Patrick, yeah, I see what you said in Astro Chat. You told him to fucking do what? Bury me? You fucking know he can't. He's no match for me. Who the fuck is he? What the fuck has he ever done in his lifetime? Acid Drip. Look at him. The fucker can't even do a push-up. Motherfucker ain't got no upper body strength whatsoever. He's got a big mouth. He knows how to yell. Big fucking deal. That's why they kicked him out of that last department. He's always screaming at his fucking computer. I got you. I called the locals. They're getting a letter. Oh. Dumb fucker. First he called Rent-A-Center, and then he called the cops. You're a dumb fuck. Acid Drip. You give England a really bad name. It's, you know, we got fuck ups here, but holy fuck. Is there any more of the joint left? Take a puff and then I'm leaving. Last call. They can always come back. Circle back. Hey, Patrick, Dougie has a wrench in my chat. I gave it to him last night when he got here. I'll probably just leave it there. Hey, do I even bring it up? You're a goofy fucker, acid trip. I cooked that in an iron skillet. Oh, he cooked it on his 1900 cooker. No, it's a Smoking Joe fucking Colin. Acid drip. He's more fucked up than you are, Colin. I'll give you that. At least you're a little smarter than your fucking fellow citizen there, Colin. No, don't be putting demands on me. You're in no position. I'll fucking talk about who the fuck I want up here, Colin. All right, go back to JC's and fucking kiss up. She'll probably forgive you. Go get some help from Wiggin. He'll pat your ass. All right, Wiggins been going to what's his name there, Bud Noball's chat. Go over there and cheer them people up, Colin. The fuck is the matter with you, Colin? Click on the link and come on up here, punk. Maybe I'll quit fucking talking smack about you. It's not really smack, it's the truth. I watched JC dress you down again. You guys want to fucking use my mother and shit and laugh and giggle about it? Hey, you see what I did with Dutchie and his mother? Yeah. I bet he drove his mother right to a fucking grave. By the time that fucker was 10 years old, they knew he was no good. I don't know. What's Europe's version of attention deficit disorder? What the fuck is wrong with these people? There's something special when you guys fucking get sick over there. It's more fun with no wrenches. Just me and all right. Dougie has a wrench and my nephew, and that's it. Probably won't see my nephew here. Not tonight. I think he worked today. He didn't stop here if he did. Otherwise, he's supposed to drop that motorcycle off to me or needs to hurry up and get that other one fucking fixed so I can drive it. Yeah, they got some good shots on my backside. My back was to that camera quite a bit. Why? It's not ending yet. The fucking show ain't over with, Colin. Got a long ways to go. Fuck. I'm only 63. Hopefully I don't die tonight. My eyes look like I'm gonna croak. Getting old. I can almost do what Wiggin does. Getting there. I hate to cut it off in the middle of good music and all that, but I'm going to take off, everybody. I appreciate everybody coming. Even you, Patrick Rowe, you goofy fucker. That Patrick Rowe is out there, Patrick, New York. That motherfucker. Yeah, you know, the only thing you do is either pray for me or fucking hate me when I die. Or play that tune by what's his name there. When I die and they lay me to rest, I'm gonna go to the place that's the best. Da-da-da. So nobody wants to come up on panel? That's fine. I'll be back later. Patrick, thanks for coming. Colin, thanks for coming. Told you, Colin. Tried telling you a long time ago. All right. I'll be back. You never know. I might go live at 2:00 in the morning. I don't have anything. I don't have anywhere to go tomorrow. So I like to get up, be up when the fucking sun, before the sun starts coming up. My hours used to be this time of night. I used to go in at 1:00. I was fucking dinner cook for the longest time. Navy was one thing. I only spent 11 years there. It's after that, I fucking spent a lot of time on my feet. All right, everybody. I'll see you later. Wiggin, I know you're in my chat. Thanks for coming, goofy fuck.